Should we check out what's going on? Oh yeah, apparently Nick Shirley made his second video on the on the Minneapolis fraud stuff at the Leering daycare centers. They're gonna teach you all about leering, you know? It's gonna be the greatest leering experience known to man, right? They are the top of the nation. Hands down, bee's knees, item 9. Fucking terrible. They're here to leer you.
Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure.
They're here to give you some leering.
Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities.
What do you what do you mean? What the first thing you said was like, what? Why did you even say that in the first place? Just answer the fucking question.
I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth.
So the fact is that some of these doctors don't even know what some of the political commentary or discourse is going on between this shit. Yet they come in here, right? They come in here like, oh, I'm an expert. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what I think. This is my expert. Man, you guys are terrible.
Can men get pregnant?
Again,
I'm not even a fucking doctor,
really
alright?
sure
I'm a fucking computer
The goal
scientist.
is to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics. So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
What the fuck? You dumb bitch. Fuck you.
People that don't identify as women. That
Can men get pregnant?
again, as I'm saying.
Let me just.
Okay, but it should have been just a straight up no. Like what? They don't. They literally do not have the men do not have the biology as women. I'm sorry, men are not women.
Guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are
Stop.
No,
This is a
yes/no questions
fucking
are about
yes
the
no
truth,
question
doctor.
and you're
Let's
not
make a
fucking
mockery of this
answering.
proceeding. This is about science and evidence. So I'm
Jesus.
asking you.
See, this is
The
why
United States
no one
Supreme Court
believes
just
these
heard
fucking
arguments
retards
yesterday at great
anymore.
length on this question. This is not a hypothetical
Anyone
question.
or
This is not
anymore
theoretical. It
within
affects
this
real people
fucking
in their real
cabinet.
lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert. And you've been
Yeah, you're called in as an expert, and you're just like, oh, what is a woman? I don't know what a woman is. I don't know what a man is. What the
That's a yes or
fuck?
no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying.
What?
It's not
Reduce
complex.
what complexity? I mean, it's pretty straightforward or simple. Sorry.
As a medical
You're either
professional
a
and as
dude
scientist,
or
can
a
men get pregnant?
woman.
I think you're also
Or
conflating.
you're either a dude or a chick. Which
No, I'm not
one is
conflating
it?
Male and female. They're two different things. There's biological.
There's no
men
in between.
and there's biological
Unless
women.
you're like one of
I wanna
those
know,
rare
can men get
fucking
pregnant?
What you were talking
people
about
with,
is
both.
You're not going to answer my question.
biological males.
This
And
isn't
even
hard,
then,
doctor.
that's so
Can men
fucking rare.
Get pregnant? Yes or no?
I would be more than happy to have a
Oh
conversation
my
with you
god, this
that
is
not coming from a
it's
place of
literally
trying
just
to
yes or no and
polarize.
just the flip-flop, dude. That literally. You just can't get a simple answer from these people. You always got to be like, well, I mean, it's not as it's really complex. It's because of these things that I think we should really think about and reorganize. What the fuck are you talking about, you dumb bitch? Why are you just say yes or no? What the fuck? Why are you trying to do some weird explanation or a fucking backwards bullshit to justify why it's okay to do this? This is so stupid. You could have easily just said yes or no, but no, you chose to do this bullshit. Fucking stupid. Yeah, honestly, we should have had this music in the fucking in the back. Oh, here it is. Actually, we already. So I did already pull it up. Oops. So there, there you have it. Watch the moment JD Vance makes tie-breaking vote to reject war powers resolution on Venezuela. He came in at the last second with a clutch. He's like, yo, what do we got right now? And he looks at it, he's like, okay, I
trust you. So good. Okay. On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50, the Senate being equally divided. The Vice President votes. Affirmative, and the point of order is sustained.
There it is. Got him! Well, there you go. JD Vance again breaks the tie. Rejects war powers resolution on Venezuela. Wait, what were they trying to do on this one? Senate rejects Venezuela war powers resolution after last minute GOP the unit defeated a war powers resolution on January that would have blocked President. Oh, it would have blocked him from conducting his stuff. Okay, that's why. Basically, they wanted the Danudu to stop fucking with Maduro for some reason. Well, I mean, it doesn't. What we're just gonna say, oh no, sorry Maduro, we're just gonna release you after all the bullshit you caused. No, that's not happening. No, not happening. Shut the fuck up, you. Maduro's sitting in a cell, rotten. That's fine.
Just as we're coming on the air tonight, we have learned that there was an ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. We go live to Alexis.
Another
McAdams.
ICE-involved
She's
shooting
live on the ground with the details. Alexis, I've just been looking at these images that we're just getting a hold of now, and we'll keep them up for our audience to see. It looks like things are, spiraling out of control very quickly there.
Pokemon. Sorry,
Well,
I'm
Sean,
opening.
that's the thing, is it ebbs
I
and
already
flows.
opened
So one
Surging
minute,
Sparks. I
there's a
didn't
small
get anything.
protest at the federal building. The next minute, these people with whistles and an agenda show up to these different sites across the city. That's what DHS has been saying. What we know right now from our colleague Bill Malugin, who just got off the phone with his federal sources, Sean, is that a man who was a target of an ICE operation from Venezuela, who ICE says was in the country illegally, was a target in this operation here in Minnesota. So they go to the door. That's when they say this Venezuelan migrant held up a shovel, tried to assault one of their agents, and you can hear those chants there in the background as protesters show up. That's when they say use the shovel to try and assault the agent. Shots were fired. This Venezuelan teen, we're told, was shot in the leg, expected to be okay. Bill Malugin telling me there's actually a picture that a source texted him of this guy on a stretcher smiling, kind of giving a thumbs up as he's taken away to the hospital. So we'll get more on what's going on there at the scene. But it's become aggressive here, and I saw it today when I was on the ground with law enforcement here, with ICE agents here in Minnesota. It's something we've been keeping an eye on as it continues to grow. But it comes as the governor here, Tim Walz, who's also under investigation in this huge fraud scheme here, Sean, just told people, hey, these are just our neighbors, and if you see them getting arrested, take out your cell phone and record. Watch.
Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people.
Wait, didn't you guys do that during the Biden administration anyways? I mean, you guys did that to COVID people. So why is it any different now?
Agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and
remember that? Remember they were doing that to their own neighbors? Ah, he's got COVID. Get him.
That's just not what we
Call
saw
the
today
police.
on the streets of Minneapolis. You can see the protesters are continuing to erupt here with anger. But when you talk to ICE agents, they say that they're being doxxed, they're being tracked, and they're being targeted here. We saw it before they even got out of the car today at some of these crime scenes. These people were out notifying law enforcement. Take a look at this. And then also, we can tell you that the tactic, though, is not new here in the streets of Minneapolis. It's been rampant. Borders Art Tom Homan telling Fox earlier the White House is actually looking into who these protesters you see on your screen are. You can see the pepper balls. You can see the pepper spray being shot. And this is what continues to happen, Sean. We can tell you it's been a week since Renee Nicole Good was shot here in the streets of Minneapolis. But ICE says they're not pulling out. This is targeted operation.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.
I'm on a dry
subscribe
spell,
to
man. I
Fox
haven't
News
been
YouTube
getting
page
anything good.
And catch our hottest interviews and most
No,
compelling
no full
analysis.
art, no
You will not get it anywhere else.
No special illustration arts. No, nothing. I'm fucked. I'm cooked. My luck, my RNG is down. Approve of Mayor Brandon Johnson? Oh, really? Nearly 80% of Chicagoans disapprove of Mayor Brandon Johnson. New poll finds. Mayor Johnson, 6% approval shows race baiting can't cover up epic public safety. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, a lot of these people do that shit all the time. Right? They always got to be like, oh, they're racist. They're racist for investigating.
And I would come home and talk to my wife
It's
about
like, what are you
day.
talking about?
And she would say, honey, that's not normal. What you're talking about. And what do you mean? She said, the child fell out the window. I said, yeah, honey, but we caught him.
Whoa, what?
And as an
What does he
example of
say?
how severe conditions can be, we live this stuff every single day that most people in this city will never experience and see.
I don't think people want to experience and see fucking crime constantly, to be honest. I don't think they want to be a victim of crime. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Like, what do you mean? She said, the child fell out the window. We live this stuff every single day that most people in this city will never experience and see.
A few moments later.
About people falling out of high buildings. I myself have worked all my life in such a building and have never...
And she would say, honey, that's not normal. Yeah, honey, but we caught him.
Yeah, fuck. Fucking retard. What do we got here? Gravely concerning Labour's new bill to have significant impact on freedom of speech. Uh-oh, Australia is going the route of UK land. They're trying to take your freedom. Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't think those two countries don't have. They don't technically have freedom of speech. They never did.
Alex, thanks for having me. Well, look,
right, you can't call the Australian Prime Minister a faggot because he truly is one.
It's about 500 pages between the bill itself and the explanatory memorandum. It's a lot of detail to get through in a very short period of time. And almost universally, the legislation has been panned by stakeholders outside of government. And that, of course, is an alarm bell for us as parliamentarians. We set a test for the government, and that was, please urgently bring in laws
that stand
we got the shark. Anti-Semitism and will deal with Islamic extremism in this country.
We got our
and as far as we can tell,
Sharpedo.
based on the feedback from stakeholders and the analysis we've been able to do of the laws ourselves, they have not passed that test. So while we want action, and we are here in Canberra now, acting in good faith, wanting to do the right thing by the Jewish community here in Australia and the community more broadly,
it's not
the government
centered.
appear to have let us down by cobbling together something that doesn't hit the mark, and what's more, we believe has a significant impact on freedom of speech in this country, which is gravely concerning.
Is it an easy fix? Is there any one bit of detail you can share with us? We've heard talk about this religious text exemption, for example.
Well, I'm not sure there is an easy fix, and this is the thing. Doing things on the fly is always a dangerous thing to do when you're legislating. And yes, we wanted urgent action, but it wasn't a case of just asking the government
I forgot
to do
how much this
anything to
costs.
legislate. We need to get this right, and at the moment, it looks like the bills are nowhere near right. The religious text exemption, we even had the Human Rights Commission yesterday indicate to us that that was a problematic provision. There's no clarity around what a religious text actually is, and then what do you do for religions that, of course, don't have a central text? Do we just forget about them and let them get caught up in these laws? We had Christian churches yesterday say
Oh, okay, damn
they
it.
were
No,
concerned
it's
about
not the one we
multiple
want.
definitions
It's not
of
the
hate
special illustration.
in various parts of the legislation. Why isn't there just one?
I mean, it's
Which one
still
are
a
we
good
supposed to abide by? All of these things indicate significant inconsistencies around what we should be passing as laws
We
here.
want the other one.
When Mike Pizzulo, the former head of
the
Home Affairs
SIR.
in this country, the Department
But
of
this
Home
one's a
Affairs,
nice
who knows
find
a thing
still.
or two about legislation of this nature, says these laws are some of the most significant when it comes to legislating around speech. For many a year, perhaps half a century, we should be taking this extremely seriously. And I'm afraid
I wanted the SIR. The SIR is the
asking more
best looking one.
questions and with less comfort than we would have liked at this stage.
Sources have told Sky News the Prime Minister is willing to
Still
work
looking for
successfully in
the
coalition to
Charizard
amend this
too.
bill. Is that a negative, or isn't it how a
Ooh,
functioning
we got another
democracy
flag
should work?
on.
Well, of course, it's how functioning democracy should work. But here we are.
Yeah,
in
honestly,
Canberra.
the
I'm
flag
in
on
Canberra.
was-
My
flag
colleagues
on
are in
was nice.
Canberra. This morning, we'll be going back in as a committee, the Parliamentary Joint Committee on Intelligence and Security, to look at the bill and go through it page by page to try and understand it. We are here trying to fix this mess that Labor have lobbed into the Parliament. What they've presented doesn't do what they said it would, and what we as Australians are expecting it will do, and that is stamp out anti-Semitism and deal with Islamic extremism. The bill doesn't seem to do those things. And what's more, when you have witnesses who haven't yet even been able to provide a written submission, none of the witnesses we spoke to yesterday have yet provided written analysis of the legislation, this hurried process, difficult, but part of the environment we're in at the moment. There are so many concerns yet to come to the fore here that we need to deal with.
Basically, those two cards
The
paid
government
for
are
2
going to have to
packs.
look closely at what they put into the committee for its consideration and figure out how they're going to fix the bill that they drafted with no input from anyone else outside of government. This is their legislation. We're here willing to work with them, but it is on them. They are the ones who've let this country down.
I think
and in
my
particular,
other flag
the
on.
Jewish community, by what they brought into the parliament today.
It's more centered.
And in the meantime, we're already seeing these tensions on
this
display here in
pack
Australia
is-
between those wanting to exercise their right to free speech and the need for sensitivities only just past the 1-month anniversary following the Bondi Beach terror attack. The Adelaide Writers' Festival was one example, and now planned
is
protests in Sydney as
the
well,
Prime
despite
Minister trying to
a ban
hide
on
it because he's a
rallies in that
bitch,
state. Should
like he did
those
with the church stabbing?
demonstrations go ahead? Should people
Or
be okay about
are you
forfeiting
guys
their
okay to
rights
freely
free speech
talk
right now?
about it?
Well, context is everything, Alex, and I don't want to run a commentary on what should or shouldn't be happening anywhere in the country. I am very concerned about how, as a country, we deal with issues like this in the wake of what we've just been through as a nation. We need to protect those who are vulnerable, yes. We need to be sensitive to the concerns and indeed some of the things that give rise to the actions we ultimately saw happen in Bondi at the end of last year. But we do need to protect free speech. I think there's a lot of common sense missing from debate out there. I think that people need to start looking at things perhaps through that lens of common sense when they're exercising what they do and say. And indeed, with regard to the Adelaide Writers' Festival, going back to exactly how all of this issue started with the uninviting of that author and why they uninvited her in the context of why they did that, I think is important to consider. But look, I just hope Australians take a deep breath and do what we do best, and that is get along, respect one another's views, tolerate one another's views, and live harmoniously in this great country.
Yeah, and keep debating, but even, as you say, respect opposing views. Many thanks indeed. We're going to talk more about this. Jonathan Dunniam, I'm sure that's the Shadow Home Affairs Minister speaking to us.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay.
These devices are illegal in Iran. They have been the only way for Iranians to get information, photos, and videos out of their country for days. This is a Starlink receiver.
Yeah, apparently some of the Iran officials were getting mad at Elon Musk for trying to set up Starlink.
For example, came out because of these receivers. And they now say that SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet service is dropping its fees. This will allow more people to circumvent Tehran's strongest attempt ever to stop information from spilling outside its borders. Now, the decision by the American aerospace company run by Elon Musk follows the complete shutdown of telecommunications and
we got
web
another
access
yamper.
to Iran's 85 million people. That was
This
on
is my
January
second
the 8th.
yamp.
And that was when protests continued to expand over Iran's faltering economy and the collapse of its currency. SpaceX has not officially announced this decision, but activists told the Associated Press that Starlink has been available for free to anyone in Iran with these receivers since Tuesday.
Well, there we have it. We got 3 full arts. No special illustration rares, unfortunately. But we did get some hits. These 3 cards basically paid for pack. We opened, what, 7? So 3 packs. Unpaid for, basically. Well, I mean, not really. Probably paid for it. All right. So we got a second yamper. This is around $3. This Flygon is like $4 or $5. Like 4. Mega Sharpedo. This is like $5. There's a special illustration rare of this one that looks a lot better. And the art style is a lot better. A lot more detailed. But yeah, we need to find that one. I don't want that. I also want the Charizard. You're trying to get the... I might have... Honestly, it's probably best to just buy those outright since it's pretty difficult to find them. Just by hitting them. Or just by ripping. Alright, let's see what's going on.
We have been notified and pretty strongly, but we'll find out what that all means. But we've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset, but that's just gotten to me, some information that the killing has stopped, that the executions have stopped. They're not going to have an execution, which a lot of people were talking about for the last couple of days. Today was going to be the day of execution. And another piece of information that I think is very important is the leaker has been found and is in jail right now. And that's the leaker on Venezuela. A very bad leaker. So there could be some others, and we'll let you know about that. We're out on their trail. But the leaker has been found, and the leaker's in jail. And will probably be in jail for a long time. Let's see what happens. So we'll let you know. We'll keep you apprised. as to what's going to happen with them.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey,
There
click
you
here
have
to
it.
subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our
Yeah,
hottest interviews
I
and
couldn't
most
find top
compelling
loaders at.
analysis.
Dude,
You
I can't
will
find
not
top
get it
loaders in
anywhere
stores
else.
anymore. I have to go to like a local game shop. I can't find it in fucking grocery or retail store like Target and shit anymore. People bought a bunch of top loaders and fucking sold out. Buy them anymore. They don't stock them anymore. I gotta buy it online now. Honestly, I do need to get some cases too for ETBs and get some booster bundle cases. Try to keep them No, I mean, I honestly I think the premium of like most things have like gone. I don't know. People don't care about the premium anymore. Yeah. There's like no, you don't make any extra money on right, premium stuff. People, the novelty is gone. And is gone. So what else
Gender
we got?
identity does not matter in sports, and that's why Idaho's law does not classify on the basis of gender identity. It treats all males equally and all females equally, regardless of identity, and its purpose is exactly what the legislature said: preserving women's equal opportunity. In fact, it's our friends on the other side who want to classify based on gender identity. They're seeking special treatment for males who allegedly lack an unfair advantage, but only if those males also identify as transgender. Denying special treatment isn't classifying on the basis of transgender status. It's consciously choosing not to.
And those states who do allow it, is your position that they are violating the Constitution, the Equal Protection Clause, rights of biological girls and women by allowing that? Or do you say that's up to each state to decide, and that the Constitution gives discretion to the state whether to allow it or not to allow it?
I have not yet been persuaded by a constitutional
Okay.
theory that would let us...
By the way, this is a talk about gender reaffirming care for well, they're talking about kids sometimes, but right, they're talking about the fucking athletic space as well, so it's like, what the fuck?
Equal Protection Clause to impose our policy on the
Why are you trying to
Groups
fucking
who study
change
this
kids'
issue
gender? What
think
the
that
fuck?
allowing transgender women and girls to participate will undermine or reverse that amazing success, and will create unfairness, because you said if large numbers, well, for the individual girl who does not make the team or doesn't get on the stand for the medal or doesn't make all league, there's a harm there, and I think we can't sweep that aside.
Male athletes who take performance-altering drugs are not similarly situated to female athletes, and states need not treat them the same.
Circulating testosterone after puberty is the main determinant of sex-based biological advantage that HB 500 sought to address. And on this record, Lindsay Hecox has mitigated that advantage because she has suppressed her testosterone for over a year and taken estrogen.
In terms of Bostic, I understand that to say that discrimination on the basis of transgender status is discrimination on the basis of sex. But the question here is whether or not a sex-based classification is necessarily a transgender classification. And I wonder if that is consistent with your understanding.
Well, there you all go. They're still trying to fucking do the flip-flop and how do we classify such a thing? I mean, this person isn't wrong.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America.
I mean,
The
let's be real.
Democrats, well, they had their tongues
If you
tied
put
at the Supreme Court.
if you put
because the
a
Supreme
if you
Court
put an
gobsmacked
adult
them pretty
male
good.
athlete
Before we get
and
started,
pit them
please make
against
sure
a
you like,
female
comment,
adult
share,
athlete,
and subscribe. Those little
who's
things
gonna
really help
win?
us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. When I say the Supreme Court, I should say I'm referencing specifically Justice Samuel Alito, conservative justice. The ACLU attorneys were arguing that biological men who were born men who have transitioned to women, who believe they are now women, should be able to compete in female sports at the high school, at the grade school, at the collegiate level. So Samuel Alito asked a very simple question that no matter what side of the issue you stand on, whether you believe that biological men who have transitioned should be allowed in those sports, or you believe they shouldn't, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, there should be a universal question that is easy to answer. I could answer it right now. I'm sure many of you could answer. I'm sure all of you could answer it right now. But Democrats, they are flustered by this question. And you would
What
think,
is a woman?
after all this time, they would have come up with some kind of answer to this question because they've been asked it many times.
I don't know what her
What is a
woman is.
And that's what Samuel Alito
What
asked. Well, what
is it?
defines a woman? What defines a man? What defines that?
Sorry.
Use it in a definition, because how can we make policy, you're saying, based on gender discrimination or sex discrimination if you can't tell us the definition of the sex? How could we have policies that are for women athletes if you can't tell us what a woman is?
Yeah, exactly.
This is pretty
Yeah,
common
it's like
sense.
when you make these classifications, it's like, okay,
Wasn't
the
common
fact
sense
that
for
you
her at
can't
all.
even tell
But then
me
again, you have a Supreme
what
Court justice
what a
and
woman
Justice
is
Jackson, who was
like,
appointed
then
by
why do we
President
have
Biden
all
and
the
former
rules to
President
be
Biden,
right? Why do
who
we
can't
have all
answer this
these
damn question
rules to
either.
begin with?
I want you guys
You
to
can't
watch
even
this and let
tell
me know
what
you
a
think in the
fucking
comments.
woman
A
is.
school may have separate teams.
Why do you
for
think we
a
base our
category
stuff
of
on
students classified as
right
boys and a
tangible
category of
physical
students
things?
classified as girls?
It's because
Yes, Your
it's
Honor.
realistic.
If it does that, then
Oh,
is it
fucking
not
basing
necessary
shit off
for
fucking
there to be, for equal
fantasy.
protection purposes, if that is challenged under the Equal Protection
That's just
Clause,
bullshit.
an understanding of what it means to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that definition?
Look,
For equal
we don't
protection
live in
purposes?
a
what does it mean to
we
be
don't live in a
boy
dream
or a
world,
girl
okay?
or a man or a woman?
Sorry, I misunderstood your question. I think that the underlying enactment, whatever it was, the policy, the law, we'd have to have an understanding of how the state or the government was understanding that term to figure out whether or not someone was excluded. We do not have a definition for the court, and we don't take issue with we're not disputing the definition here. What we're saying is that the way it applies in practice is to exclude birth sex males categorically from women's teams, and that there's a subset of those birth sex males where it doesn't make sense to do so according to the state's own interest.
Well, how can a court determine whether there's discrimination on the basis of sex without knowing what sex means?
Correct.
For equal protection purposes.
Right, because
I think here we just know, we basically know.
yeah, I mean, what these people want is they want to redefine and re-implement our laws that we have already in place that fixes all these issues. But no, they want to make new shit. Like, what? They basically want to make a new set of laws for these very minuscule amount of people within within the world. Like, what? Brother, it doesn't work.
Identified pursuant to their own statute, Lindsay qualifies as a birth sex male, and she's being excluded.
I mean, would you like to be under the Disability Act? God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this. But would you like to be under the disability bullshit? Right? Because there's a whole bunch of disability laws and shit for disabled people to help them with their life so that they can, you know, fucking live a normal life. Would you like to be a part of that group? And she's
categorically from the women's teams as the statute. So we're taking the statute's definitions as we find them, and
so we have to redevelop some laws just for your weird classifications for whatever you want, right?
Track team.
Until you feel satisfied, by the way.
And a student who
and I don't think these people will ever feel satisfied, even if you give them a bone.
A male and
like, you give them a bone, they just want more.
Taken puberty blockers, never.
When they already have so much freedom in fucking America.
Female hormones, never had any gender altering or affirming surgery. Says, nevertheless, I am a woman. That's who I am. Can the school say, no, you cannot participate on the girls' team?
Yeah, man. I'm surprised we're even having these conversations, because it's like, well, why are we just throwing out fucking biology? we're literally throwing out science. Science? What's science? We don't know what science is. What's a woman? I don't know. What's a man? I don't know either. I don't know. Well, what are these concepts? I don't fucking know. Fucking wild.
Now, Iranians have no internet. They are living under an almost complete blackout because their government.
I guess let's revert to caveman era.
Exactly what is happening on the streets
you get large stick and you get stoned, and you start beating it against other large stone.
And this is not their first fight. And now Trump is deciding how and if America is going to get involved. Now, before we get into anything in the story and what is happening in Iran, I just want to take a second to say just how lucky we are. Like, I hope everyone appreciates that we live in a country that, at least at this point, does not cut off our internet access, that still has freedom of speech.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm allowed to sit here behind a microphone and criticize our government if I want to, that we can vote, actually, for our elected officials. Because millions around the world do not have that privilege. Because right now, as we are sitting in the comfort of our own homes, as I am sitting behind this microphone with my telephone streaming to you guys, Iranians are fighting for basic human rights under a genuine fascist, religious extremist government. Not the kind the left complains about, but a real fascist regime. And they are taking to the streets to fight for a better future. And allegedly, based on the few videos that we have been able to see that have made their way out of Iran, again, they are living under a blackout. These are what the streets have looked like.
Well, I mean, you got people who live under a rock or who just don't care about these other countries, and they're just and then they ask the question, "Oh, is this really happening?" Well, I mean, yes, it's really happening. What the fuck? I mean, yes, sure. You got half of the news telling bullshit lies sometimes, but yes, it is happening. Right? If you can just parse out all the fucking bullshit, yes, it is happening.
Kind of expert on Iranian, geopolitics, but I did learn a lot about the history as I was researching this episode. It was things that I did not know that maybe you also didn't know. So I just wanted to
why
share
are
that
people
before we get
talking
into what is
about
happening
it?
today, because I
So
think
it
is
must
really
be
important
happening,
context.
yes.
So let's just take it back to 1951 when Mohammad Mossadegh was elected as prime minister in Iran. Now, an important fact and something that we are seeing everywhere all the time in geopolitics is that everything basically comes back to oil. And Mohammed nationalized Iran's oil industry, which was previously controlled by the British.
Not
Effectively,
oil,
they
but
were
just
telling the West to
natural
go F themselves.
resources.
We don't want foreign interference in our government.
The resources we need to
autonomous,
survive.
go yourself. And this is where it really gets interesting, because in 1951, there was a coup
Or,
against
well,
Mohammed
for any
executed
country
by the
needs to
CIA
survive.
and MI6 in the UK.
They need
it was
the
called
minerals.
Operation Ajax. And Muhammad was overthrown as
They
prime
need them
minister, and
precious
they reinstalled
minerals
the Shah,
and
who is,
gases.
the head of state, the king, who was Muhammad
They need
Reza
that
Pahlavi.
liquid
Hopefully I am
money.
pronouncing all of these names correctly. Now, it was not until
They
the
need
early
that
2000s
gas,
people
liquid,
actually
and
learned
solid
of the
money.
United States' involvement. This was not known back in the 50s. One article reads that the New York Times published a special report based on a leaked CIA internal history that the extent of American culpability was finally revealed. In response, the then Secretary of State Madeleine Albright could do little to deny the charges, admitting that the coup was clearly a setback for Iran's political development. And we're going to remember that for later in this episode when we're talking about new American involvement. President Obama agreed, and in 2013, the CIA admitted culpability, explicitly referencing Operation Ajax, the code for the American operation in Iran, in an internal history released by the agency. In 2017, the publication, over 1,000 files concerning American activity in Iran, were released through the Foreign Relations of the United States series, confirming beyond all doubt long-running suspicions as to foreign involvement. From the documents now available, it is clear that the CIA and their Iranian assets collaborated closely with the Shah and Iran's most reactionary forces to force Mossadegh from office. I mean, the whole thing is just crazy. What is important to note is that after that, in Iran, there was a deeply anti-Western sentiment among many Iranians, although it was only rumored at the time that the U.S. was involved.
Oh, by the way,
again, they were in the 50s,
not all regime change obviously comes from outside forces. Regime change can also come from right within their own fucking country. Right, right, Maduro just pushing his way in and just being like, "This is my regime now. I am the captain."
Especially Western influence in their country.
Yes, you
Now,
do
here's
have
where
those
it gets
guys.
really complicated, because if you have been on social media recently, like myself, I'm sure that you have seen
And then you got the people who always like to blame America for trying to stick their nose into other countries' politics and try to regime change them in a sense. But it's just like the only reason that happens is because people ask for it. That's the only reason why literally America does anything.
Great again. Another woman said this
You're even lucky that America is even willing to fucking help you.
Jimmy Carter took over the country again.
Because holy shit, some people don't get help at all, man. They just fucking burn.
Those were real experiences that people did have in Iran. But the Shah, again, after the CIA involvement when they overthrew the government, he was not popular among all Iranians, in large part because of his secret police force called the Savak, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, that brutally suppressed dissent in Iran. There was also massive wealth inequality, which led to great unrest with the students of Iran and the working and middle classes. They also believed, once again, that their cultural identity as Iranians was being erased. As the country became
well, I
more
mean,
and more
in a sense,
Western
yeah.
and
They right.
So my point of bringing all of that up
Weren't
is
they
that when
trying
you
to
were scrolling on
literally
X and TikTok
rewrite
this week and you were
the
seeing those photos,
Persian
remember
era?
that, yes, that was real, but that
the
freedom and
Persian
that
history
did
that
not
was
exist
once
for all
Iran.
Iranians.
Yeah.
And the Shah, while he might be,
because they
better
changed
than
their
what they
flag
have
and
now,
everything
was still
too.
called a dictator. He was authoritarian, and all of this brings us to the 1979 revolution, because this revolution was
I mean,
not
in a sense, they were trying to erase
they were
their
not,
own
looking at
heritage
themselves and their bathing suits and their hair showing and going,
and
"Man,
make
we all
up
wanna
some
wear
new
hijab, we don't wanna
heritage
be like
that
this." No, they were
that didn't align
anti-dictatorship,
properly.
and they were anti, possibly most importantly, anti-foreign control. They wanted democracy in Iran, they wanted freedom, and they wanted their cultural identity respected. But after the revolution, they did not get democracy. They got yet another kind of dictatorship. The Shah was overthrown, but Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly,
Yeah, I mean,
established a theocratic state with
when you
himself
say
as the first
democracy,
supreme
you really
leader.
mean
So they essentially
dictatorship,
just,
right?
did a swap. They replaced one dictator
Because
with
democracy
another. And this
does
created
tend
what we now know
to
as the Islamic Republic of Iran.
kind
Sharia
of
law was
go
imposed.
into
Women's
the
rights were stripped almost
right
immediately, and their country
dictatorship
continued
area,
to deteriorate
especially when a
economically. The Ayatollah
consensus is
established
made
Islamic
that you
law
want
as
to
the
put
basis
this
for all
one
legislation. They
person
put religious
right,
leaders at the top of the political food chain. But again,
as the
this is not what
sole
the people of
person
Iran
to make
wanted
every
when they
decision
started the
and
revolution.
to
They wanted a
basically
democracy,
take your
and very
freedom of
quickly
will.
in 1979, they realized that that is not what they had gotten. One article reads, on March 8th, 1979,
I mean, what's a nation
tens
with
of
no
thousands
freedom of
Iranian
will?
women took to the
Right?
streets
You're
demanding the right
a
to choose
hive
what to wear
mind
on
working
the first
in
International Women's Day
like
of
a
the
worker bee,
post-revolutionary Iran. Post-revolutionary. The
like a
rally that was
drone,
supposed to be a celebration of women became the start of a
a
six-day
robot,
battle
if you will.
against
Right?
the newly imposed Islamic dress code on them. It was perhaps the earliest sign that the
Fucking
revolution they had fought for had been hijacked. Only
do the
weeks
bidding
before,
of
many
someone
of these
else.
same women, students, doctors,
Always
lawyers,
to not
nurses,
have
teachers,
your
and
own
activists
time.
had marched against the dictatorial rule of the Shah, fighting for freedom, democracy,
Oh, you need to
and
eat
equality,
shit and
unaware
sleep?
that they
Oh,
would
that's
become the
too
first
fucking
victims
bad.
of
You don't
Iran's
get to do
Islamization
that.
by the Ayatollah. And these peaceful protests, these demonstrations, the one that started on International Women's Day, they were once again met with government brutality. Like they had experienced under the Shah, they were experiencing once again. So then fast forward 20 years, then in 1999, students then led the charge with another set of protests, and an article from that year reads, Iran on the brink as students protests. 3 days of clashes between
Yeah.
reformers and Hezbollah hardliners erupt after a newspaper ban. But still, nothing changed.
I mean, yes, obviously a lot of the terrorist organizations work together, especially if they're in the same region,
was
right?
arrested for quote-unquote improper hijab. But only a few days later,
I mean, they
under their
right, they
arrest,
all speak the
she
same
died.
language
And
in
the
a sense,
Iranian
yes,
authorities said that
because
she
they're
died,
all in the same
coincidentally,
region.
of a heart attack. But her family believes this to be untrue. Most of Iran believes this to be untrue. Her father said, quote, what makes me sad is that the authorities are spreading lies about my daughter every day. They said Masa had a heart disease and epilepsy, but as the father who raised her for 22 years, I say loudly that Masa did not have any illness. She was in perfect health. The person who hit my daughter should be put on trial in a public court, not a fake trial that results in reprimands and expulsions. Her family members also told news outlets that they were denied access to her autopsy report, pressured to quickly bury her, and told not to speak publicly about the case. But they decided not to do that, and the story could not be suppressed, and protests erupted after her death, which then led to 500 other deaths and over 20,000 arrests. Now, what made these protests very different, and arguably a lot more powerful than the ones that took place in 1999 and 1979, was the internet. Because not only were the people in Iran able to see how people lived in other countries, but they were able to show us the realities of their country. They were filming everything. It was all over social media within hours. Videos were flooding out of Iran.
Yeah, basically,
Like
what I can assume is, I would assume most of these videos that were taken are shown probably since the internet is down. I bet some of these guys are using like VPNs and shit to try and like, post these videos on social media, right? Whatever social media they can. But obviously they're taking a risk because, well, they're using a VPN and posting it.
They are tired of the morality police,
especially in Iran, where it seems like they are very they got I don't want to say they have secret police style shit going on, but they do monitor you in a sense.
You cannot erase videos seen by millions of people around the world. This is the 21st century.
Right, I guess it would be the same monitoring system as, I guess, Russia or China, right? Dictatorship monitoring system. If they catch wind of you doing something shady, they're coming around. They're knocking on your doorstep immediately.
Pure Talk's Saver plan. For just $20 a month, you will get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on Pure Talk's super fast nationwide 5G network. They are on the same network, the same towers as all of the big companies that you rely on. Former saving money.
Thank you for the ad read. Thank you. Yes.
We have to talk about Grand Canyon University. Grand Canyon University is a private, affordable Christian university in the beautiful
I've seen
Arizona,
this GCU.
Oh
yeah, by the way, I finally got my
education actually about. So that's
I got my graduation certificate.
Admissible high school seniors and
well,
transfer students can schedule a complimentary visit
validation that I got
graduation.
graduation.
Your purpose today at GCU. It is private,
I'll be getting my
it's affordable. Visit gcu.edu/my
my fucking diploma.
So now back to today, 2026. Protests are once again erupting throughout Iran, and this is what you are seeing.
It's finally over.
Once again saying, Iran is on the brink. The government might collapse, and it is a tale that older generations of Iranians have seen time and time again with no change in outcome, but not Gen Z. This is a different story for Gen Z, and they're the ones leading this fight. And so all of that context, all that history, that brings us to the protests that we are seeing right now. And they started back in December. This report reads, the protests that erupted in late December 2025 began with strikes by bazaar merchants and shopkeepers in Tehran, triggered by a deepening economic crisis marked by hyperinflation, rising food prices, and the rapid devaluation of the Iranian rial. Within days, demonstrations that began over economic grievances evolved into broader political demands, including calls for
just look, if the fiat currency of America is going down in value, all other countries' fiat currency are down the fucking shitter too.
And constant access to information. There was no internet in my parents' youth. They were cut off from the world, she said. But from the beginning, we understood that this is not a normal life. Through social media, young Iranians follow events and protests in other countries. They see peers elsewhere challenging their governments and believe that they too can demand change. So while these older generations have lived through this time and time again, whether it was in, the 50s, the 70s, 1999, they might be tired of fighting, they might feel hopeless, but Gen Z, these young Iranians, they feel like they have nothing to lose and they are not ready to give up. Because
I mean,
again,
if
they
you
grew up online.
look,
They can see
you
Turkey,
allow
Muslim
me
country,
to
with no
do
mandatory hijabs. They can see
something
Indonesia,
with
which has the
no
largest Muslim
repercussions
population in the
whatsoever.
world,
I'm
with
gonna
a
fucking
democratic
do
government. They see,
it.
South Korea and Singapore, which in the 70s had a very similar
Look, I'm one of those people who jumps on opportunities.
online, and they're asking, why can't
Look, if
we
you
have
give me the
what they have?
opportunity
Why
to
can't we
use
rise
this,
up
I
and
might
overthrow
have
our
to
government and
fucking
finally
use
get
it.
what we want? And so over the last couple of weeks, these demonstrations have just gotten bigger and bigger, and the Ayatollah responded by cutting off the internet, as he does, while he and his government attacked and killed protesters, just hoping that the rest of the world wouldn't see. And
Right
even
now,
when
I'm
Elon
still
Musk
waiting.
brought in Starlink to try to give internet to the people of Iran, the government was actively trying to jam the satellites to keep the entire country dark. All the while, the Ayatollah was on X tweeting, blaming Trump for the deaths of thousands of
Yeah,
Iranians.
that
Like,
too.
you
Yeah,
cannot
that
make
that
this
one
up. Like, I'm
that
sorry,
one
but
was funny. Kamani basically blaming the U.S. and President Trump for the protests and riots that are going on in his own country. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? It's the same way how Hassan tries to blame America for everything. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? These people are doing it themselves, right? But okay, yeah, I mean, you can think whatever you want to think, you fucking
But I
weirdo.
think we are beyond damage control at this point. The world knows.
I mean, it doesn't make you any. It just makes you a loser, literally.
And all of us being very aware.
You think that way, you're gonna become a loser, literally. Or you are a loser because you lost immediately.
The side of the country that conveniently is constantly yelling about fascism and religious extremism and women's rights and gay rights, and yet
Yeah, I don't know why these people try to cheerlead for the losing side, especially when the losing side is losing real fucking bad.
The Golden Globes just happened 48 hours ago.
Because they keep shooting themselves in the fucking foot.
Silent. Jack Mack, my good friend from Barstool, he summed this up well. Listen to what he said.
I find it very interesting that I'm seeing no Instagram stories about Iran, which, by the way, the current regime in Iran has killed over 2,000 protesters over the past week or so, if not more. Including a 5-year-old
I mean,
child
well,
that was
some
involved.
numbers are saying 12,000,
Various Instagram stories that I
right? So
looked
it's like,
to see what the
I mean, look, the body bags are
is.
evident
So
enough
no,
that
I haven't seen
shit is
anything there.
happening.
Last night at the Golden Globes, nobody said anything. Not one mention. Not one. And they mentioned a lot of things. I'm not saying you only have to care about one thing. You can only care about one thing. That's not how the world works. But I do find it interesting that I'm not seeing any of those, oh, here's this colorful story where you swipe through on this post.
Yeah, where are the infographics? Where are the infographics about the Ayatollah and the Iranian Revolution? They don't exist.
Yeah.
Because it's not convenient for them.
Exactly.
Somebody commented and said the left wasn't told to be upset
I mean,
about it.
they
Yeah, maybe
could
it's
show
because they
those
spent the last couple of
Arma
years defending
videos
Muslim regime.
again.
Maybe it's because they just elected a Muslim mayor to lead New York City.
Those
So
were
like,
cool
maybe we
too.
should sit this one out. No, actually, you shouldn't. Because thousands of innocent people are being killed for what you have the privilege of doing every single day. Complaining about your government, standing up to fight them. You have the privilege and the freedom to do that from behind your Instagram stories. And they're being killed in the streets for wanting that same freedom, to be able to do that safely. Somebody else commented and said, Mark Ruffalo is awfully quiet. Yeah, they all are. But Trump isn't.
Yeah,
which takes us
I mean,
to our next point in this episode, which
No,
obviously
that's why I
US
don't
involvement,
take
it's a big
fucking
question on everybody's minds, because back in DC,
some
he
of
and his
these
admin
famous
are
people too
deliberating whether
seriously
or not the
because
US
they're
should get
fucking
involved in this
retarded.
fight. And while it is very clear that
It's like
I think
they
most
see
of the
what
United States
they
stands with
either
Iran
hear
and
it
supports
from
them,
one
it
of
is
their
still pretty big if that is
friends,
good
or
enough.
they
And many
don't really
Republicans are
do
already
the
calling for the
necessary
military to get
time and
involved, and Trump
research
is
to
certainly
actually
considering
like
that
look
option.
into
Just
it.
based on his post on Truth Social, he said
Oh,
Iran
yeah.
is looking at freedom, perhaps like never before. The USA stands ready to help President Donald J. Trump. And he has apparently been briefed throughout the week, obviously. He's continued to put out statements like this, saying, help is on the way, and hold the line, and take over your institutions, protesters. And actually, just an hour before I sat down to record this episode, he did an interview, and he gave this threat to the Ayatollah and his government.
You did say the U.S. would get involved if Iran started killing protesters. Yeah. They have, by the many thousands, according to reports.
Well, we'll see what that is. I've heard two numbers, but we'll see what that is.
Well, now we're hearing that they're going to start hanging protesters tomorrow. So it comes back to the question, have they crossed your red line, or has the line
I mean, the line has already been.
You're going to see some things that.
And they've already been killing their own people,
where
yeah.
you come from and what your thought process is, but you'll perhaps be very happy.
Now, obviously, you guys know me. You've heard me do episodes like this before. As with all foreign intervention, I'm skeptical. I'm definitely more of an isolationist because, like, all of this is just so nuanced. And it's so complicated because no human being, no good, decent human being wants to sit back and watch innocent people be murdered in the streets by their government. But we also have to acknowledge that America has stepped in before.
Well,
And,
I mean,
we talked about with
you literally have some of the population even asking for help from President Trump. So it's like,
Venezuela just last week.
I mean, it's like, right. It's the same with some of these other countries too that ask America for help,
American
right?
soldiers, and like it's ironic even that the U.S. is toying with the idea of getting involved and being a savior here.
And I wonder why all of those people want to ask
for
America
them
for
in
help.
The first place. And some even think the West is behind this
Right?
destabilization right now, which you might have seen on X. I don't really
Why
know
does
anything about that. I'm not gonna
everybody
try
want to
theorize, but
ask
that is definitely
America
circulating.
for
But
help?
still, people are putting a lot of pressure
Very
on Trump
strange.
to get involved. One tweet stood out to me. It brought up our own history. This attorney said,
It's almost like they're dependent on America for some reason.
2 Frenchmen, one
Huh.
Polish patriot, and 1 Prussian officer, foreign commanders whose countries helped George Washington and a
Fucking
ragtag revolutionary army defeat the most powerful empire on earth. That is the American origin story. A revolution against tyranny that survived because others stepped in to help. There was no shame in it
I
then,
guess
and
they
there's no
need
shame in
Big
it
Daddy
now. When the Iranian
America
regime
to
says it wants
protect them
negotiate,
because
that is
they're
not
so
diplomacy,
small.
it is delay. Authoritarian regimes negotiate to buy time to regroup,
They're
to identify
the
protesters and to
weaker
finish the
crowd,
job.
so
If
we
this
should
regime survives,
we
the
should
followers
help
will not be
them, even
stability.
though
There
they
will be a
say some
bloodbath that
horrendous
locks the power
shit
in permanently. And this
about
poster
the
does
help
make
they
a good
get.
point
Right?
about quote unquote negotiating and trying to do things from afar. Now, Sarah Adams, who has a new show with Sean Ryan's company, she made a
Ask
great
for
video
help,
detailing
bitch about
everything
it,
that
is
is
like,
going on
okay,
in Iran,
see ya.
talks about some of the history there, and she brought up everything that happened under Obama. How Obama basically sat on his hands, sat idly by, and made statements like, Don't do that. Don't kill those people. America is watching. That was basically what he did, but he never stepped in, which taught the Islamic regime that essentially, or actually literally, that they could murder their protesters, their citizens, in broad daylight.
Well, I mean, it's because we already nuked their, not nukes, but we already bombarded their nuclear or their nuclear well, it was a nuclear program. We just don't know what kind of nuclear program it was. Whether it was a nuclear program for energy or whether it was a nuclear program for weapons, or maybe both, who knows?
Knowing that pro-freedom protesters also died
But
in Iran, he was president
regardless,
4 years
it had
ago.
to get
So I don't
taken
know
out
what's right. I don't
because
know
they
how
were
Trump is feeling, if there is guilt there,
they
if
were
that's
not
motivating him in
being
any way, shape, or form. But I
forthcoming.
do know
Right?
that I don't want to see
They were
American
not being
soldiers dying in Iran in 15 years. I know that I
straightforward
don't
with
want the U.S. to be running
what they were
Iran in
doing.
some kind of failed Ponzi regime change that costs us billions of dollars. And I know that Iranians, that those protesters do not want that either. Because for decades, they've been saying we're tired of foreign interference and foreign control in our country. But obviously,
Yeah,
as
a lot
people,
of
and even more
yeah,
so
a
if
lot
you're
of
a
those
politician
people,
involved in this
right?
thing,
Even Africa did that shit too, but then they were all like, "Yo, America, please help."
How do you go about taking that action? Or is this something that will just be a net negative for Americans, and therefore
that's
we
just
sit
how
out
it
and say
goes,
it's
right?
not our country, it's not our problem. Now,
When
all
shit
I do
hits
know,
the
and I wanna be
fan,
totally honest
right?
about
That's
this always,
when
is
that's when
that
they
it is a
actually
lot
start
easier
calling for
for me
help.
to sit here behind
Even
this
though
camera, behind
they've
this
been saying a
microphone
lot
and
of
give
shit
opinions.
before
It's very
then,
easy
right?
to have a black and white, intervention.
It's always when
bad
shit hits
movie
the
until
fan,
shit hits
right?
the fan. Until
Always.
possibly 12,000 people are being murdered around the world for just standing up for freedom. And so on that note, I will say again, thank God I'm not president. I would not want to be in his position, and I do hope that we see a day when Iranians have a free and democratic country. I do not know how they're going to get there, but this revolution right now, it does seem different.
I mean, if you're president, you have to deal with the flakiness of human beings, right? And that's fucking annoying, right? The people being so flaky and not putting their foot down, or right, standing on convictions, I guess you could say. Basically, they bend the knee, right? They bend the knee and then they get cucked. And then they start going into that fucking emotional empathy route, or right? Yeah. Like they get blackmailed into trying to help these people even though they're not fucking really giving back. Instead they slander you even though you're helping them. All right. It's like fuck. All right. Do we watch the Nick Shirley thing? Nick Shirley posted his new his second video. It seems like he's making a series, maybe. I don't know, but yeah. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's in the new
I'm asking no, you don't ask me nothing.
questioning of the Leering centers. Yes.
How come they said this building was closed? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Advanced Mobility? Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it? They know we're shining the light.
Wait. Hey, you're in a complex, a shopping complex, and the shopping complex is supposedly has this business in it. Hey, have you seen this business? No, I haven't seen it. It's like, what?
On the fraud.
You're a local, aren't you?
Would you like to see anybody in the government here held accountable?
Most definitely, because there can definitely be an allocation of funds.
The Minnesota fraud
I mean,
scandal
yes,
continues
there is
to
a
get worse
definite
and worse as
allocation
millions
of
dollars
funds
fraud
going
have been
into the
exposed,
fucking
and as I showed the
shady
world
stuff.
the blatant fraud taking place at
Or it's
daycares
actually
and
not
other
going to the
locations
right
across
people.
Minnesota, it became the most
Right,
viewed video
it's
expose
used to
on the
perpetuate
internet and created
fucking
instant change within the government as the Fed sent
illegal
thousands
bullshit.
of federal agents to Minnesota, and the HHS froze over $185 million in all payments to childcare. And while politicians like Tim Waltz call people like me white supremacist and far-right
Should we
delusional
look up what
conspiracy
is the
theorists
amount of
for exposing
fraud
the
that
fraud,
right,
meanwhile, he actually
the
dropped out
amount
while
of
running
fraud
for
that the
re-election.
U.S.
The
goes
Minnesota
through
fraud
every
scandal
year?
has erupted the
Should
nation
we
as
look that
protests
up?
and riots took place,
I don't
all
know if we
starting
should
because
look that
daycares
up,
like
because that
Quality
might
Learning
fucking
Center
piss
were
people off.
exposed. However, the daycares is only a small portion of the fraud taking place in Minnesota. In this video, I will take you into what has continued to allow this fraud to happen and connect all of the dots.
I don't even know if
all
there's
the
a
fraud from strange connections
number
of the
for that.
business owners and the politicians who have openly admitted to the fraud on live TV. And to dive deep into the fraud, I met back up with the local David, who has been investigating this widespread fraud scandal for years. So here in Minnesota, you have daycare fraud, you have adult daycare fraud, you have healthcare fraud, and you even have more
Oh
fraud.
man, I don't
What's
even
some of
think
the
I
fraud
want to
that's
read
also
this.
taking
Holy
place here
shit,
inside of
man.
Minnesota?
Well, what I think might
It's
be
so bad.
sort of the heart of the beast here is
Here it is. So just so you can see it, right? The government loses an estimated 233 billion to 521 billion annually to fraud, according to 2024 Government Accountability Office. Report analyzing fiscal years 2018-2022. Now, the Government Accountability Office, right? Their specialty is reporting these right? They're an investigatory body, right? They're supposed to put out this information. They have to. That is their main purpose. Right? So the fact that this is happening is like, yeah, you should probably put a clamp on it, because it's wasting us a lot of fucking money. Now that's just general fraud, right? We didn't talk about like very
Minnesota,
specific instances
we have
of
something
right
called
fraud or
non-emergency
cases.
medical transportation, NEMT.
yeah.
My research has shown that there are about 1,020 such companies in Minnesota, and more than 90% of them are Somali owned.
So yeah, when they say that there is a possibility that some of these states are in the billions of right being down in right money
of the companies that are out
due to
there.
fraud
What I
is
found was
possible.
that the national average for a non-emergency medical transportation company is 20 vehicles per company. A lot of these companies, their address is an apartment, some are in a house, Some are in a convenience store. Some of them in a vacant building. There's no signage. There's nobody there.
And so why would there be such a need for all these transportation companies here inside of Minnesota?
So if you think of this transportation as the hub of the wheel, so childcare is a spoke, adult daycare is a spoke.
Also, this is just one instance of fraud, right? Just think about the other instances of fraud, and this is just in the child care system,
those meals had to
right?
be, someone had to deliver those meals.
What
someone has to
about
deliver
the marketing of right?
autism,
Supply and
certain
demand of
so it
certain
all
products,
revolves around the
and you have tons of
transportation.
those, yeah.
And so when you're looking at this, you say, okay, well,
What
let's
about
just be conservative. Let's go
big
to those-
tech
let's say there are
companies?
only
You
800
know,
Somali-owned non-emergency medical
well,
transportation companies
shit,
in
you can
Minnesota.
even say the
Well,
government.
again,
You know,
the average is 20.
the government
vehicles
acts like a
per
fucking
company. So that's 800 times 20.
right,
and the way these
like a store in a
NEMT
sense.
companies are paid,
Right, they provide
is
a
if
service.
they bring someone
Right.
to a doctor's appointment.
There's a
whatever the
supply
case
and
might be, or
demand that the
Costco or
government,
wherever
in a sense,
they're going,
gives
'cause
you.
Remember, it's non-emergency medical transportation. Well, we went to Costco because they have to eat or they'll die. So that's considered, right? So it's almost impossible to figure out from the outside what exactly the payments are for each of these trips. But I have a pretty good idea. So when someone provides a transportation to a facility or a location, they're also paid for the time to sit there and wait for the appointment to end and then drive the person back. So they're paid three different
Basically,
ways.
they're paid by their
And
time.
The average is going to
is
be
what he's saying.
$50 per trip. So it's going to the appointment is a trip, coming back trips. That's $100 per round trip. So if you have 800 companies,
Yeah,
in
doing
Minnesota
that,
are
right?
NEMT
That's already
companies,
right. That's
they all
tons of
own
money,
vehicles,
right?
And they're all making 10 trips a day, and it's $50 per trip. So it's 800 times 20 times 10 trips times $50 a trip. Do the math. And the reality is, how many of these trips are being provided? Zero. They don't have to provide any. Why? Because when they are paid by the state of Minnesota, these companies go online and they fill out a form. And it just says,
Basically, there's
okay,
no
how many trips, how many
validation or
miles.
checking really
They
involved.
submit that electronically to the state, and boom, they get paid.
Yeah, right.
Nobody
You don't,
bothers to
right.
check,
There's no
you know, all the
validation or
dentists and
checking
this
that
kid
these
show up,
people
they don't call
actually
it-
did
they don't
their
do
job
anything.
or duty
As soon as that form is
that they were
filed with the
supposed
state
to
of
do,
Minnesota,
right?
that payment goes out immediately.
Because
And
there's
so essentially,
no
these transportation
there's
companies
no
will
paper
hold
trail
all of the fraud together
in a sense.
because
There's
you
no
have the daycare
receipt.
centers working with the transportation companies. The adult
Right.
daycare
It's almost
centers
like
working with
they're
the transportation
acting
companies,
under the
healthcare
table.
companies working with
Yes.
the transportation companies. So it's just another way to bill and to also make it look like something's happening here inside of Minnesota.
This is the belly of the beast. All of this fraud revolves around these transportation companies. All of it. This touches every part of fraud. here
Yeah,
in
I mean,
Minnesota.
this
And
is
today
yeah,
we're gonna
this
confront
just
these
sounds
people.
like
We
right.
confronted them last time. There
Pyramid
was no kids
scheme
in any
all
of
under the
childcare centers.
table,
And
right?
today,
No,
what do you expect
right?
to
No
see?
I
receipts
think we're gonna see some
whatsoever,
vehicles
right?
because,
Hush, hush. Gotta
you know,
keep
when
it
I
hush,
drive
hush.
around the
No
cities here,
receipts.
I
No
see
receipts.
these Somalis driving, and mostly it's like
Right?
a
Because
Plymouth
receipts
Caravan or
just
whatever. And
receipts
there's
just
never,
incriminate
ever,
you.
ever been a passenger. And in 7 years, I've never seen a passenger in any of these vehicles. I've followed some of them. They're going to Costco. They're going to Sam's Club. They're going to Walmart. The driver gets out, goes in there, loads up a shopping cart, comes in, puts it in the van, and off they go back to where they live.
And now we're going to go out and see what's happening with these transportation companies.
And here's the other thing. Tim Walz and the Department of Human Service, you threw the people of Minnesota under the bus. Shame on you, and I'm coming for you.
You heard it
Oh
here
shit,
first,
he
David.
said it.
All right, let's go. So where's the first location we're going to?
Oh shit,
The
he
first
said it.
location is a company called Safari Transportation, Cedar Avenue South in Minneapolis.
And so what makes Safari Transportation Company an interesting transportation company?
Well,
Allegedly fraudulent.
Well, the thing about Safari is that they've been registered since 2015 with the state of Minnesota as operating vehicles. And again, the national average for a non-emergency medical transportation company is 20 vehicles. So if they've got 20 vehicles and they're at 607 Cedar Avenue, I have no idea where there's parking them because there is no parking
In that area.
Anywhere near
Yeah.
this office.
We've arrived to the transportation company. We're outside, and right there we have a Loving Arms adult daycare. All the windows are completely boarded out right there. And there's
no,
supposed to be
no
a
Leering
transportation
Arms
company
daycare.
registered right here. It's 617, but it's a liquor store.
We're not doing the Leering
So,
stuff anymore.
The location here is 607 and also 617. These are two transportation companies. We're on a main road right now, and this is 607, and it is not a transportation company. It's
Can we
actually
do more
a money
Leering,
transfer,
please?
but it's registered here. 607. This does not look like Safari Transportation. Where is the transportation company?
I don't see any signs denoting that there's any transportation. It's all just looks like money wiring. But if you look at the Secretary of State's office, state of Minnesota, Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue, and it's been registered here since 2015.
It looks like Nick Shirley upgraded his. It seems like they actually have security guards now. Or I mean, it looks like he probably already had security guards, but they weren't. I wasn't paying attention. But it looks like he's been using security guards recently. Probably because, I mean, to be honest, he probably should, especially if he's looking at some of these places.
Hello.
Because I hate to say it, but some of these places don't take too kindly to being questioned. Yes.
No Safari Transportation?
I mean, also, especially if you're walking in with a camera and shit like that, right? They're already on high alert, especially when you walk in with a camera.
Okay, we don't know. We're asking where Safari Transportation is.
We don't know.
Okay, so the business is not here.
Don't record.
Fuad Omar?
Fuad Omar?
We don't know. This, do you see this?
Wait, she just said Fraud Omar.
Okay, registered. This is.
Wait, she just said Fraud Omar. Wait, so he apparently this guy knows what's been going on. Yeah, apparently he knows what's been going on.
Yeah, we did find out.
Right, he got real aggro. He got immediately aggro. Like, super defensive real quick.
Well, but it's registered now. This is current, just off the state of Minnesota website today. This is from today. I just.
Yeah, these people. Honestly, they might be probably in bed with whatever Omar Ilhan, right? Ilhan Omar is doing and whatever the fuck, right? Because she's Somali, right? She would protect these people 100%, even if they were doing fraud. That's what she would do, because she's a Somali butt pirate.
Printed this off today. Fuad Omar.
Go check it
Through and through, Somali butt pirate.
Where's Safari Transportation?
It's no Safari, period.
Okay, so it's a fraudulent business.
Did you see Safari anything here?
Exactly.
Did you see?
Exactly, it's
Did
not
you
here.
see it?
It's a fraud.
Did you see, sir?
Okay, thank you. We're going to go to the next address.
All
right, let's keep moving on. So 607, this is supposed to be Safari Transportation, no transportation company. And now we're going to 617, another transportation company. However, it is actually Cedar Riverside Liquor. Where is the transportation?
Honestly, he should have.
617 right here.
Transportation for the state of Minnesota.
Honestly, I think Nick Shirley should have tried to work with the government in a sense, especially when it comes to this type of stuff. Right, because if he works closely with the government, right, they would get the information instantly and then they can log it. Right. The important thing is to log right. Take note. Always, in a sense, always record, make receipts, right? Make notes to make sure, hey, these people are doing shady shit.
Registered to 617 Cedar Avenue South.
And it's a liquor store. David, they aren't even trying to hide that these are transportation companies. Where are the vans at?
Should we ask?
Let's go ask.
Also, I think Nick Shirley, I don't. He probably does more independent stuff and doesn't really work with
Transportation.
a lot of companies, right?
We don't have this.
You ever heard of Safari Transportation?
Safari, I know Safari, that money wiring, 607.
The money wiring?
Yeah.
Okay, that's money wiring.
Yeah.
We're looking for Safari Transportation.
607.
They said they never heard of it.
I never. Safari company, the money wiring, they send money there. That's the 607.
So Safari gets the money and then they wire it out.
Yeah, the money.
Wow. So this guy instantly just said, yeah, they do that. What the fuck? This this looks like a convenience store, right? Like a 7-Eleven type of right, a bodega in a sense.
Man just said
the dude just literally said, yeah, they're doing it. Yeah, it's those people.
Safari is actually a money wiring company, so therefore they're receiving money and then wiring it somewhere underneath the name of a transportation company.
Yeah, they just know that something is
right
going
here.
on.
And then you have 617 right here, but this is reliable services, immigration, travel,
The next door,
and tax.
the fucking next door
I do not
store
see
was
a
like, yeah, they're
transportation
doing
company
that.
Hey,
Fucking
we're
yeah.
hoping to find Dreamline Transportation.
Okay.
You ever heard of it?
I've never heard of it. Ask next door.
He said to ask here, that you would know.
Ask next door. This is a mailbox. It's not really far.
So, Dreamline Transportation could be nothing more than a mailbox. 834.
So it could be one of these mailboxes. Well,
Okay, see you later.
607, Safari Transportation, doesn't exist. It's actually a money wiring business. 617, Dreamline, inside of there, it's actually a liquor store. And then 617A is a place where there's a bunch of mailboxes and it says reliable ITT services. How are you doing, man?
I just want to ask you,
Yes, sir.
why are you sensationalizing?
Sensationalizing? What are you talking about? You know how much fraud happens in every state? I don't think you understand how much fraud actually happens in every state. There's quite a bit. That happens probably almost every day. So sensationalize. I don't. You're not really sensationalizing.
The propaganda.
Yes, propaganda.
What's
Yes,
your
propaganda that there's
We're
no
not
such
asking
thing as
your
fraud
money
going
by
on in
means.
America.
We're looking for fraud.
No,
For instance, can you answer our question? Where's Safari Transportation Company 607? It's not
I
there.
also,
Why don't
Nick
you
Shirley
answer-
is only looking
why don't you
into
answer
one
our question? Where's
field of
617
fraud.
Dreamline Security.
Right, and that's the
I make money off of
daycare
YouTube. That's how I
system.
make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing.
That my
Take
job
that
is-
into
the Somali community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the
fraud is
reason why
fraud,
this is
sir.
happening. All right. Let me tell
David,
you the reason why
fraud
you're
is
attacking
fraud,
this.
correct?
Yes.
This has nothing to do with race. This is fraud.
This
Is
is
fraud.
absolutely has
No,
to do with us being Muslim.
it's
No, it does
racism
not.
because
Us
you're
being from
investigating.
Africa. This is a
That's
constitutional
why.
argument.
You're
So you don't want
racist
us
for
here
asking
Change
questions.
the freedom of religion. Say,
Why are you
listen,
so
we don't want
racist?
Muslims in this country anymore.
We're not saying that.
No.
We're not
Because
saying
when,
that.
when I go
Sir,
into
we're
your
talking
comments,
about fraud. You're
when I-
talking.
when
Nick
I go
Shirley,
into your
why are
comments,
you
My comments-
why
racist?
these people that say you do not want Muslims here kick every single Muslim
Stop
in
being
Minnesota
racist.
out of Minnesota?
Just stop
That's a
being
comment.
racist. Why are you
That's a
racist?
preparing-
Why
you're
are you
preparing
racist?
For the Somali community to
Why are
maybe
you
be taken
gay?
to concentration camps, just like
How?
the Japanese community.
How?
All right, you're
Wait, what?
sensationalizing.
Just like
No,
the
we're not.
Japanese
Something
community?
that
What are
can-
you
listen,
talking?
Where,
That's something
where
that can,
is the transportation
something
vehicle
that can
company?
jeopardize
Answer the question.
safety and the protection of the
This is
Somali
fraud.
community.
We're talking
if
about
anything
fraud, sir.
happens to the Somali
We're talking about
community,
fraud.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. Now the security guard's like, yo, yeah, it's getting heated, right? Because right. Honestly, I feel like, to be honest, some of these when these guys interact, sometimes they get way too right. They get like right. They get like in front of your face, right? You should be like 2 feet back, 5 feet, 3 feet. 3 feet. But yeah, honestly, if you're gonna be talking to someone, maybe stand a little bit back. Right, you're too close, man. You're almost invading his space, almost like you want to assault him. Right? Honestly, I don't think I wouldn't let someone get too close, especially when they're already in a heightened emotional state. Usually you don't stand close to these types of people because They might try something fucking stupid.
You're getting very close. I'm not physically touching you. No, I'm not physically touching you.
This is fraud. We're talking about fraud. You're defending fraud. You're defending fraud.
Comments,
you're defending fraud.
People who hate Muslims
out of here. People can say what they want.
You are racist because you hate Muslims. You are a Muslim hater.
People who hate
You
Islam
hate Muslims. You're racist. You are a racist, little bigot. You Muslim hater. You're racist.
Let me tell you something. Guess what?
Say it. We're asking about fraud. We're asking about fraud.
You hate Muslims.
I'm not saying I hate Muslims.
Yeah,
We're talking about
immediately
fraud.
pulled out the fucking racism. God. You are a racist. You are a racist.
That does fraud. Are we the only community that does
Yeah.
this?
This is about fraud.
All right, but there's what, 300 Somali providers in all of Minnesota?
There's actually 800.
Don't touch me. So,
You are a racist. You are a racist. White boy. You are a racist. Gringo.
This is about fraud.
We have, what, 1,000 providers?
Yeah, you guys have a...
Even it's 2,000 providers.
Okay,
you
sir.
want to sacrifice the safety of
English. Whoa. Everyone's talking English.
Are you f***ing mad? Are you stupid?
I'm not stupid.
Brother,
you're
you
stupid.
need. Now this guy's visibly getting super aggressive. I don't know.
Somali gets hurt in Minnesota is because
You gotta love people who get super aggressive, even though it's not that serious.
sensationalizes. You son of a bitch. Sensationalizes.
Wow, you're
sensationalize.
Very nice.
Get the f out of our
Sir,
Make
can
it
you tell me where the
sensationalize.
Out of our neighborhood. We don't
Make
want
it.
Get the f out of here.
Calm down, sir.
Sir,
this is
You
about
wanted
fraud.
sensationalize? You wanted clicks?
You're
You got clicks.
sensationalizing yourself,
You
sir.
wanted clicks?
You're sensationalizing yourself.
You already clicked because you. I mean, honestly, what? This guy could stream himself. Why doesn't he stream? Honestly, it has nothing to do about the streaming. Honestly, this person can stream themselves. I mean, then again, I don't know if they have the financial status to actually, do streaming themselves. Because I guess streaming takes a lot of finances. You gotta get your own computer, right? That does it. You gotta get internet access, right? Especially internet access where it's not gonna be shoddy. I don't know. You can easily do it. I don't know why he's not doing it.
Get the f out of our community.
Tell me where the... This is about fraud.
Say I don't want Muslims
This is about
here.
fraud.
Say I don't want Muslims here. Say it.
I mean, I do. Honestly, it is. How long has this been going on? Yeah, honestly, if I talk this to this guy for a minute, and he's already acting in an aggressive nature, I probably wouldn't just talk to him, right? Because he's already trying to start shit. But I mean, he's doing it right because he's getting it on video camera, right? It's all for documentation, right? To make sure nothing bad happens. I mean, this guy already knows what's gonna happen, right? He's already, oh man, this is gonna look bad. Right? This guy's like, oh shit. It's like, oh fuck, man, he's getting too emotional. He's getting too rabid. He's all over the place. Calm down, sir. Please calm down, sir. This is not the time to get emotional.
If any Somali gets hurt in Minnesota, it's because of Nick f***ing Shirley.
This is about fraud.
One single Somali gets hurt.
This is about fraud.
See, that's the other thing too. It's like we don't blame all of Somali, right? We're not blaming fucking the whole population of Somalia. We're just blaming fucking Ilhan Omar and what the fuck she's doing. Right? She's allowing fraud to happen. Right? They're allowing these things to happen in their own fucking state. And it's literally draining the system. Right? It's literally fucking up the system. And you have a bunch of people asking what the fuck is going on. So yeah, it's a fucking problem.
Wow, you're very nice. Very
Yeah, it's a
nice.
problem to dish out free money when there's actually no such thing as free money.
Calm down, sir.
Right?
Out of here.
Sir, this is about fraud.
You wanted clicks?
You're sensationalizing yourself,
You
sir.
wanted clicks?
You're
Yeah, I mean, yes, he is sensationalizing himself. I mean, this is gonna get the clicks on its own. Whether Nick, honestly, this is just a right. This is just an addition. Right? This is like the appetizer. You just right. We're only 16 minutes in, and we already got someone fucking going crazy. So this is perfect, right? Perfect.
Where the transportation goes.
Chef's kiss.
Tell me where this is about fraud. This is about fraud.
Say I don't want Muslims here. Say it. I want to change the Constitution.
No, I don't want to change the
freedom
Constitution.
of religion, and I don't want Muslim Somalis
Oh yeah,
in Minnesota.
I'm drinking
I was born in this country. You have to take the passport away from me.
some
That is
soju.
what you are arguing
Sir,
for.
we're not talking.
Change the Constitution.
This is about fraud.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Fuck out of our community.
This is about fraud.
Fuck out of our community. Fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of the community.
Tell me where the transportation company
You're
is
a
then.
stupid white boy. You're a stupid gringo.
Obviously, for this video, we had to get security because look at this now.
Es stupido.
All right, we're going.
Yeah, honestly, I think he should. I mean, obviously, this is just for the video. You only needed like a minute or two of that, and that was it. But he got like 4 or 5
This isn't
minutes.
about race. This isn't against religion. This is about fraud. We're fighting fraud here.
Yeah, that was a good
a race.
4 to 5 minutes of
And
just
this
that
is
dude
what happens
raging.
when you put a spotlight on fraud, the people who are benefiting become extremely violent, and the Somalis are the most violent people I have ever met in my whole life.
Because he couldn't answer the question. Where was the transportation?
Yeah. Did you hear what he just said? Oh, sorry. I'm gonna fucking replay that because it's funny. I'm sorry. I find all of this funny.
Violent people I
And
have
it's
ever
not
met
because
in my
I
life.
am a little
'Cause he couldn't
tipsy.
answer the question.
It's
Where was
because
the
this is
transportation?
actually
He wouldn't
fucking
answer the
hilarious.
question. All he did was make it about race and then issue threats.
Neither business was there or operating, and giving a very conservative estimate based off of David's numbers and other numbers online, it's
Issue threats. Violent and
We're fighting fraud here. We're not fighting a race.
well, and this is what happens when you put a spotlight on fraud. The people who are benefiting become extremely violent, and the Somalis are the most violent
Yeah,
people
they
I
get
have
they
ever
get
met.
violent when they get caught
Because he couldn't answer the
red-handed.
question. Where was the transportation?
He wouldn't answer the question.
They
All
get
he did was
real
make it
violent.
about race and then issue threats.
They almost get
Neither business was there
hysterical.
or operating, and giving
Right?
a very
That one
conservative
person got
estimate based
hysterical.
off of David's
Right?
numbers and other numbers online, it's fair to say each business is operating.
Just
with
notice
over
how many
20
people get
vehicles with a much
hysterical,
lower and
like, or
generous rate of
super
$25 per
defensive,
trip, and
right?
with 10 alleged
Immediately,
trips a
right?
day,
It,
each business
it's
is
almost
going
like
to
a
estimate
fucking
$1.3
switch.
million
As soon as they hear
in
the
gross
question, they get
revenue,
super
and with
defensive.
those 2 locations alone, there's over $2.6 million in estimated fraud.
All right, we're going to the next location.
What's interesting, Nick, is that one of the places we just visited, the 617 Cedar Avenue South, that's for Dreamline Transportation. That's the address listed with the state of Minnesota. But the place that we're going right now is going to have vans that say Dreamline Transportation on them, but they haven't moved in months and months. You'll see they're covered with snow. There will be no tire tracks. And so why are they using this address? And all that was in there was a liquor store. And he told us to talk to the guy next door, and those were all just mailboxes. And then the guy next door said, "Go talk to him." I said,
Go,
"We just
no,
talked to him."
don't talk to us.
Obviously,
Go
the
talk to
cover-up,
that guy.
and you see how they
That
all
guy
stick
knows.
together.
We don't
and
know.
It's all this intimidation.
Yeah, honestly, I think that happens because the only reason why I think they start right doing the say, hey, go talk to that guy. He probably knows more about it. Is because they probably right because they don't want to really talk about it. They're just trying to like just obfuscate, right? To basically not make you ask questions. Right, to make you leave immediately. Right, in a sense, some of these people are probably working together to try and like hush, yes, because there's already a lot of heat on them.
And thank God we had the security we did there, because that would have been bad.
Now we're outside of this transportation vehicle company right here.
Yeah, and so you can
I
see
mean,
these
right,
are the
in a sense, the more you talk about it, the more you leave yourself open for, right, leaving yourself open for investigation or, right, leaking information you didn't really mean to leak. Or, right, or the investigators start asking questions about what you said, and then, right, they start trying to make you spill the beans.
Since it's a Dreamline, you can see the sticker on the window and the numbers on the rear. None of these vehicles have moved in 8 months. I've been taking date stamp photos. All these vehicles are in the exact same spot they were 8 months ago. And look, there's no tire tracks, so they haven't moved.
And this van as well, this is Dreamline. Dreamline was the location where we got chased out from the Somalis on 617 Cedar. And this is a vehicle from Dreamline that actually didn't even exist. It was a liquor store. And now it's here, and the vans haven't moved at all.
Also, notice how...
No vans and no...
Did you notice how some of the businesses do multiple services? That's already a little weird. Right?
Is now following.
Oh, thank you for the follow. Right, all the businesses... Right, right, that one business was like a... Right, a mailbox store... Plus, like, so what was it? It was like a mailbox store and a fucking... Yeah, this one. Health Mart. Oh, okay.
It says reliable.
Yeah, health... Right, you have a mailbox and a pharmacy, right? And they... Health series or some shit. They do multiple things. Like, what? The fuck? That honestly, that's a little suspicious, right? When a company does multiple things like this, and then they don't actually give you reliable service, or you ask them questions and they don't give you, right, straightforward answers, yeah, that's a little suspicious.
ITT Services. How are you doing, man?
Denzi, Harry, go fuck yourself.
Why are you
You sound like a bot.
sensationalizing the propaganda?
What are we
to-
sensationalizing?
To attack our community. What's your final objective?
We're not attacking your community by any means.
I'm gonna have
We're
to
looking,
ban you.
We're looking for fraud. For instance,
If you're not a bot, you can message me and say, "Hey, I'm not a bot." But yeah, you sound like a bot.
Why don't you answer the
How much
question?
money
Where's
are you
617 Dreamline Security?
How much money are you making?
I make
off
money
of
off of
this?
YouTube. That's how I make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing.
That my job
and attacking
is.
the Somali community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the
fraud is
reason why
fraud,
this is
sir.
happening.
Oh, yeah,
Alright,
shit,
let me
sorry.
tell you the reason why you're
Fraud is
attacking
fraud,
this.
correct?
Let's go. Where was I?
Business didn't even exist.
It's all fraud. All of
The senior center
Dreamline
being used in these transportation companies are making lots
Yeah, I
of
forgot to
money.
look at the
Meanwhile,
time.
there's actually nothing
kinda-
to show for it. Here's all of
I was on my
vehicles right
rant
here.
and
The
forgot to
vehicles
look
that
at the
are coming
time.
in and out, like this Toyota, it does not have any.
I don't remember
Talked to
where.
him. I said, we just talked to him. Obviously, the cover up, and you see how they all stick together, and it's all this intimidation. And
Oh, okay.
thank God we
I
had
think this is
the
good
security
because we
did
were
because
in
that
this
would've been
area.
bad.
Now we're outside of this transportation vehicle company right here.
Yeah, and so you can see.
Oh
these
yeah,
are the
okay,
vans.
yeah,
It's
okay. So yeah, this is where we were actually. Okay.
a Dreamline. You can see the sticker on the window, and the numbers on the rear. None of these vehicles have moved in 8 months. I've been taking date stamp photos. All these vehicles are in the exact same spot they were 8 months ago. And look, there's no tire tracks, so they haven't moved.
And this van as well, this is Dreamline. Dreamline was the location where we got chased out from the Somalis on 617 Cedar. And this is a vehicle from Dreamline that actually didn't even exist. It was a liquor store. And now it's here, and the vans haven't moved at all. Literally. No vans and no tire tracks.
Yeah, I mean,
anywhere. If
you're
these
saying
vans
that,
are
yeah,
being used to
that
transport people, whether it be
snowed
healthcare,
in, yeah.
childcare,
Well, it's
there
all-
would be snow tracks. and there's snow tracks.
I mean, obviously you can tell they have moved. Oh shit. But yeah, they've gotten some frozen bits here, so that means they haven't been moved in about maybe a day or two, 3 days maybe, right? Because you got a lot of this shit just frozen up here, and you got this car just full of snow.
2, 3.
Oh, actually, no, yeah, you have a bunch of they just have snow on them, like they've been sitting there for a while.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 vehicles here.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, all these vehicles look like they've been a lot of snow has been built up. Right, they haven't been used in a while.
Snow tracks.
Maybe for possibly a week.
Are not being used, and these
maybe
transportation
more.
companies are making lots of money. Meanwhile, there's actually nothing to show for it. Here's all of the vehicles right here. And the vehicles that are coming in and out, like this Toyota, it does not have anything to do with the transportation company.
Exactly.
Because
You can tell
on
which
it,
cars
there's
are not going to
snow
get
tracks.
snow, especially
But the
if they're
vehicles
going
that
to
are supposed
drive
be used for
them, right?
transportation are literally locked in. Snow is building.
Just small
icicles.
tells, right?
No one's even came out to remove the snow off the window. These transportation vehicles are not moving. And then right here, David has more paperwork for Silver Mountain. And there's 3 different companies in the same address.
Yeah.
So when we talk about
Wait,
how
3
all
different
these
companies in the same address? Almost like
This is a
they
perfect
tried to
example
change
of
their
that.
name
And this
multiple
is why
times
these
because they
transportation
fucked up.
companies are so essential to the fraud in Minnesota because they allow the fraud to be supported, as the majority of the fraud is from welfare programs like daycares, autism centers, and adult daycares, and healthcare services. They need to leave a paper trail to make it look like something is happening. Therefore, they use these transportation companies to create that paper trail by saying they are moving people from an adult daycare to a healthcare provider, for example, but they actually never provide the service at the healthcare provider. But that paper trail allows them to continue to bill the state for the money, and everyone gets paid. That's why this fraud is so deep and hard to dismantle, because quite literally everyone is involved.
And it's all because the state of Minnesota.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're getting paid, I mean,
so this is actually the location.
you have more of a incentive to keep
LLC
quiet about
and
it.
Co. Let's see if any.
Yeah, I mean, you basically get free
Yes,
money
we're
from
wondering
these
what
people.
Silver
Why wouldn't
Mountain-
you keep quiet?
Silver Mountain.
It says 2720.
Also, why would you incriminate yourself too?
Silver Mountain here.
Why not just let the main perpetrators incriminate themselves rather than yourself, right?
The name of that Silver Mountain. It's just Silver Mountain.
Don't ask me that. When you come.
All right,
So
sir.
Silver
Well,
Mountain-
so
This is
Silver,
another way-
so
that's
Silver
the
Mountain
way
does not
to make a
exist.
business.
Basically, it's a revolving door of fucketry.
Silver Mountain.
Okay, sir. You have millions of people.
All the
watching.
fuckery.
Where is Silver Mountain?
All in one. Gotta love
Okay,
it,
well,
yeah.
that's what we're looking for. All right, we're moving on. So Silver Mountain does not exist. David, we're just simply asking for where is Silver Mountain Home
You
Health
can't
Care?
find any of these companies. I mean, this is shocking. 3 companies are supposed to be in that building, and he's never heard of them. He doesn't know anything about them.
And look, so they don't exist there. Right there, Somali Senior Center and Adult Day Services, a daycare right there. All these welfare companies are in the same location, but their businesses, that business didn't even exist.
It's all fraud, all of it.
So right there is a transportation company, no passenger, just a driver. How come you think when it comes time to take accountability for what's happening, or just to answer simple questions about the fraud, they can't answer?
Well, I think their reaction tells you all you need to know. The reaction is so violent.
I mean, they've been probably
that
told to
if there
keep
was no
quiet,
fraud
right?
going on,
Especially
they would
from
say,
Ilhan Omar.
What are you talking about? They would have a civil conversation, but they can't because they know we're shining the light on the fraud, and they have no defense. So, in their mind, being loud and using profanity is their only defense.
Because I'm trying to give them the opportunity to say, where are the transportation companies? Where are the daycare? Where are the children? Where are the companies now? Yet they can't answer.
And to this
I mean, they're
point,
never
Nick,
going to be
the
truthful to you,
transportation
even if you
companies
ask
we've been
them a
to, we
straightforward
haven't
question.
seen a single vehicle
Right?
at any of
Because
them.
they're
In
already
fact, some don't even
right,
exist. We can't even
or-
find them.
They're caught up in a
and
fucking
we're going
fraudulent
to the
goddamn
addresses that
company.
are listed on the Secretary
Because they're not
of State's
actually doing
website
what they say they're
as their
doing.
business
Right?
address.
This is
That's
a
why they're
massive
fucking
parking lot here.
hush,
We're going to
hush.
ask them where their vehicles are. They should not have any excuse as to why they don't have their vehicles here, other than if they are out driving right now. And what's the story behind this business?
Well, this business is new as of March of 2024. It's Muhammad Malim is the registered agent for 713 Minnehaha Avenue East.
Me and David headed into this building, however, the owner was not there. We're here at the suite of Epimonia Transport LLC. There's actually not even a sign
Yeah,
here.
the owner was not there because they were trying to hide.
And anyone
Because they probably caught
here-
wind of
looks
you
like there's
guys
a guy over here. Let's see if we can talk to him really quick. Do
investigating.
you know about Epimonia Transport here?
So there was a transportation company here in 305 for a long time, even before I joined the building a few years ago. He's
this is
never
someone
really
who works
here.
here.
I've seen the office a couple times. There's barely anything in there but a couch. And then I see him maybe twice a month at IF. So.
And there's no transport vehicles outside. Massive parking lot, but no transport.
I've never seen one. I've been here for 3 years, and I'm always here. I'm a workaholic. I'm just nonstop here, so I know everybody in the building. And this specific space here is probably the most sketchy out of any other business.
Oh shit! He just said it was sketchy.
He just pops in and out.
For instance, this guy Muhammad, he should have his business in 308. There should be transportation vehicles outside. There's nothing.
That's weird that you say 308 because he's always been in 305 for the last 3 years.
Wow, so he's even lying on his public records with the government.
I would assume if he was to make and doing fraud, it makes sense to switch it up and throw people off track. It would be the first thing somebody would do, I would think.
So since the fraud has started to be exposed, Muhammad has left the scene, and that guy just said, he confirmed that there was never even been transportation vehicles outside. So Muhammad has completely left the scene. He's nowhere to be found, and this parking lot, massive parking lot, actually never even had any transport vehicles according to the guy who lived or had his office next to Muhammad. How quick do you think the fraud would dry out here in Minnesota if they were to cut out the transportation side of the fraud?
I think it would have a massive effect, and that the signal that would send would let people know the party's over.
Because if me and you were to go to the doctor, we either have to find a family member, drive ourselves, or pay for an Uber. How come they even have this set up?
Yeah, I tried to arrange a ride with one of these Somali transportation companies. They said they were all full. So now we're at 2833 13th Avenue South in Minneapolis, and there's supposed to be a non-emergency medical transportation company here called Vance Mobility Incorporated. And what's interesting about this company is that state records show that it first registered with the state of Minnesota in 1999.
And they have been in business for over 26 years.
Yes, correct.
And
So
we're gonna go inside.
they must have a lot of vehicles.
So this is Advanced Mobility 2833, boarded up. All these windows are covered right here. We're gonna see if we can go inside. There's a bunch of shops in here. We have money transferring shop. We got clothes in here. There's a coffee shop. Let's see if Advanced Mobility is in here. We got spices. Is Advanced Mobility here?
You know 224?
I don't think you guys are allowed to record it.
Do you know where Advanced Mobility is?
Suite 224.
She's recording over there, so. Suite 224. Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is?
Advanced Mobility?
Yeah. We're looking
Never
for
heard of it.
What is this? Oh, my name's Nick Shirley.
Who are
We're
you, sir?
Looking for Advanced Mobility.
Who are you?
Where's Advanced Mobility at?
We don't care about advanced mobility.
That's what we're asking for. All right, we're looking for Advanced Mobility. Nobody can help us right now. We got a whole group of people trying to get us out of here. We're looking for Advanced Mobility.
We don't care about advanced mobility.
Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Hey, you got even the kids following the adults.
Where's Advanced Mobility at?
We don't care about advanced mobility.
That's what we're asking for.
Get out, get out.
Would you like to give a statement on where advanced mobility is? So advanced mobility is not anywhere here. We're leaving, sir. Would you like to give a statement on what's happening here in Minnesota?
You make stuff up. This is a lie. I don't care. Who do you work for? Who do you work for? No, who do you work for? Nick Shirley. Who do you work for?
This is Nick Shirley, sir.
I don't care about Nick Shirley. That's you.
Yes, sir.
But who do you work for?
For Nick Shirley.
I don't care about Nick Shirley.
That's who he's working for today, Nick Shirley.
So that's who he works for today.
Get out of here.
And see, you guys say I can't film, but look at you guys filming. You can do that. You can film here.
Advanced mobility doesn't exist.
Well, so what was interesting was we
I would have called all of them bitches and just
state's
left.
website, it says
Or-
it's in Suite 224.
I might have dropped the F slur to tell you guys, all of you guys are fucking criminals.
And it's been registered since
And I hope you all go to
1999,
fucking
and
jail.
it doesn't exist.
All right, next
But
location.
you know, that probably
David,
would have
where are we
made them
at?
angry and
We're
probably
at
attack me.
what's called Ray's, R-A-Y-Z Transportation LLC.
And this is Ray's Transportation. We're on a street. There's no parking lot for any transportation vehicles. We'll see what happens. This is the address for Ray's Transportation.
Honestly, I would have just told them all that they're criminals.
See if anybody is here.
And see what would have happened.
Is Ray's Transportation here, sir?
They probably would have attacked at that point.
Transportation place. There's no transportation places here.
Oh, okay, well.
It's just Ray's.
Healthcare places.
R-A-Y-Z.
Well, I think it's confirmed they're not here, David. So it's confirmed that Ray Transportation, all of these transportation companies, they're kind of like ghost companies. They exist on paper, but they don't actually exist
Correct. They don't,
in
yeah.
person. Would you like to
Ghost
see
company.
anybody in the government here held
They're shell
accountable?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Shell
'cause There
companies.
can definitely be an allocation of funds.
You know what shell
what's your
companies
message
are?
to Tim
Fake
Walz?
companies that don't actually
Make a
really
change.
exist. They're
Make
just
change,
a
'cause there's definitely,
front
even when it comes down to like the kids and stuff, there's
to
definitely
to
stuff
seem
that,
like they actually exist.
we need.
But
we
then
need
when you start
spaces for
actually like
things
trying
that are
to
going
call
on that they're
their
not doing, we need
right
these type of
company
spaces
or
for it.
call their
This is
services,
some crazy stuff.
nothing.
But I'm glad that you bringing light to it. It is a crazy, interesting situation.
Hey, you keep that false narrative that you be going on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so yeah, they're the fact that he came up like this, right? You know that they're talking to each other. You know that the commute, right? They're all on the phone. Hey, we got this Nick Shirley guy here. Hey, yo, yeah. If you see him around the area, hound him. Literally, they're all talking to each other, man.
You should get in your car because
You should not be doing that, right? You are creating misinformation. This is not fair. It's not fair for the American people.
What do you mean it's not fair? It's not fair that there's actual fraud going on? What? So it's not fair that we're shining light on how much fraud that's going on in America. Right? And it's not just the daycare system, by the way. So why are you getting so upset? Yeah, you're not a part of it, are you? Or are you? Are you getting free money that you shouldn't be getting, sir? Why are you getting so upset? Honestly, all the people who get upset, I think they're getting money. All the people who are getting upset, they're getting money. They're getting money on the side. Why else would they be fun?
To be doing that.
For
It's
fraud to
not
be happening?
fair. It's not fair what you mean.
Not fair. What
cannot
do you
be
mean
doing
it's not
that.
fair?
You're not being fair.
Do I literally have to pull out the fucking fraud that happens every year?
So we shouldn't allow
Do,
fraud to be
do I
happening,
really
right?
have to pull that up?
Let the
I don't
legal
want
system
to.
do its job.
Okay?
Well, it's failed.
I
don't want to do that.
We got
All right.
Attorney General, let them do the job. You're not in a position to do the job.
What do you mean?
You're not a prosecutor. If you want to run for office, go.
What is he even talking about? He's just trying to ask questions. He's not even trying to what? What? He's not even trying to act like a what? He's even talking about. He's mad that he's shining a light or information that these people are doing suspicious things in this area. That's why. That's why he's upset. He's upset that they're gonna get found out.
Go ahead, run for office, but you cannot be doing this. This is misinformation. This is misinformation.
How is it misinformation, sir? It's from the
This is what you're doing.
state
You're
of
coming
Minnesota.
You're coming everywhere.
Yeah,
Where you coming
it's from the state. Yeah, this is disinformation.
You see what I mean? We're talking about the facts that's happening here.
It's south side. It's my turf. Get it.
Sir, so we were just having a civil conversation. That guy hopped out of his car in the middle of the road. In the middle of the road about the fraud that's happening.
Yes.
He's saying that I'm the bad guy.
That's a self-report, by the way. That's a fucking self-report. The fact that you just came out at Nick Shirley and just got all angry like that, that's a fucking self-report, you fucking idiot. Why would you do that?
For showing light of what's happening here.
They're passionate. They're passionate people. They don't want this.
I mean, look. No, look. No one wants to be called. Oh, nah. They're just like, oh shit. They're looking. They're looking. Look what she's got here. They're talking to each other. They're definitely talking to each other. How many times have you seen some of these people like bring up? They're definitely talking to each other. Come on, let's be real. Some of these people are suspicious as fuck. If it was me, I'd start breaking legs, to be honest.
On to be brought to light.
If I was the government, I'd be coming in here and start breaking legs.
It's a very tight-knit community.
You saw it firsthand how crazy it gets out here. He hopped out in the middle of the intersection. So this isn't about race. You're a black guy. They're black, right? We don't have no ill feelings towards you by any means. We're talking about the fraud that's happening. So God bless you, sir, and thank you very much. Why are we doing this?
So we're doing this, A, because it's the right thing to do. The people of Minnesota and the people of America want this done. Fraud is fraud. And when we try and talk with these people and say, look, the main reason we're doing this is to find out why are all these checks being written by the state of Minnesota for companies that don't even exist. That's what we're trying to figure out. It's not a race issue, it's a fraud issue.
But then again, you know,
And
the
so
government
most
is
people
probably
don't understand how
complicit in
this
this
fraud is. It
shit
is
too.
literally in the
I
entire
mean, just look
state
at the
of
Minnesota
It's not
government.
just in one part
Right,
of
they're allowing the fraud to
Right, and
happen.
So I think what happens is the people
All
in the
right.
suburbs of
They're
Minneapolis and St.
allowing
Paul,
it
they
to
get lulled into a false sense of security because they say, oh, that's
Tim
in
Walz,
Minneapolis, it doesn't
Elon,
affect us,
Omar.
or that's in St. Paul. And we're showing that
They're just giving
this
away
fraud
free money.
spreads throughout the entire state of Minnesota, including all of the suburbs. And we're going to bring to light exactly
Giving away free money
what's
at
going
the
on
expense
in those
of the
respective
American
suburbs.
taxpayer.
And so what's happening in this suburb
that
of
has
St.
to
Louis
spend
Park?
their, you
Well,
know,
this
blood,
is
sweat,
one of
and
the,
tears to make that fucking money. Yeah.
Somali
That's crazy, right?
NEMT, non-emergency medical transportation
Right, these people get a
companies
free
that's
get a
registered
free
with the state of
ride while you
Minnesota,
bleed and
in
sweat
St. Louis Park. And
day
so
in and day out.
let's see if this one actually exists.
This is the location of Crescent Transportation. We have no vans outside right now. Does not look like any vans are outside. Let's go inside, see if Crescent Transportation exists. Here we are, and it's an apartment complex. There's no signage of any Crescent Transportation company. Once again, another fraudulent business where they don't even have a storefront to show where they're at. This is an apartment complex. So this is an apartment complex right here?
Yeah.
And have you ever seen Crescent Transportation out here?
Nope.
And what do you think about
Nope.
the fraud taking place here in Minnesota?
Nope, I haven't seen this
I'm
place.
a taxpayer. I don't like it.
What's your message to all the fraudsters?
I don't like it.
Prosecute their ass. Take it.
Prosecute their
How
ass.
do you
Fuck
feel
these
knowing that, for
people.
instance, right here, a transportation company that receives money from the government is
This
not
guy's
even
very
here. It's an
straightforward.
apartment complex.
I just said I don't like it. I'm a taxpayer. I work hard for my money. People out here fraud, they still go to jail.
And should Tim Walz go to jail?
Oh, he
I work hard for my money. Fuck these people. Put them in jail.
like none of them.
So that man right there just confirmed that this is an apartment complex.
Right, and so
Very
the cities
straightforward.
have specific rules governing operating businesses out of apartments. They do not allow transportation companies to park vehicles in an apartment parking lot. None of the cities in the Twin Cities allow that.
Because even if you were to be running a transportation company out of your apartment, there's nowhere to park the cars.
Well, where are they? There aren't any crescent. I don't see anything with crescent on it anywhere.
More fraud taking place here.
So this is called Hopkins Child Care Center. This facility is licensed to hold 118 children. So this should be a really big facility. And this year alone, they have received $2.25 million from the state of Minnesota. And last year, they received $1.92 million from the state of Minnesota. And this facility, in the past 5 years, has been in the top 10 for the most money received from the state of Minnesota.
So there should be plenty of children. There should be footprints of children walking in and out.
This should be a very busy place, yes.
So this right here is Hopkins Child Care Center. They're receiving over $2 million a year. All of the windows are completely blacked out. You can't even get in. And for a place that's supposed to have over 100 children,
Sorry guys, we're
there's
not.
no footprints
We're a
anywhere going
business,
into the
but not
store.
actually.
And it's locked. Midday right now. This is the back side of the daycare. We're ringing the doorbell right now. See if anybody comes. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Oh, they
How you
actually
doing?
came.
Yes, sir.
Get out. Okay, listen.
Get out!
Get out. This is our business.
They immediately. I think they immediately knew who he was because they just say, "Get the fuck out!"
What are you looking for? We don't care what you do on the parking lot. Go this side. This private.
I can be here in the parking
This
lot.
private. This
Wait,
private.
we have
Even
to
though,
go to the daycare.
even though we have the company logo here, it's private.
I don't care.
Sir, I'm not racist.
You have to leave here.
I'm asking
No. You don't ask me nothing.
$2.25 million.
Get out, you guys. Get out.
We are a private company,
Get out. Hey.
even though we are in public on the
Get out.
I just want to ask you about
the address.
$2.5 million.
Get out. You say get out of here, man. Get out, guys. Get out. You cannot do that. Get out.
You cannot do that here.
You cannot do that.
Where?
Get out.
This is.
Get out, man. No.
God damn it.
Get out.
I'm sorry.
Get out. No.
Oh,
Sir,
this is
get
too
out.
funny.
This is our-
Why, can I ask you about the daycare? I have the paperwork right here. What's the need for $2.25 million for a
Gotta
daycare?
love fraud, yeah.
Can you answer the question?
No, I don't.
Get out! Get out! No. That. Do you see that guy? They're calling people immediately.
Who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
No, I don't.
No. Who are you? No, I don't
Could you
get.
answer the question?
What? You just
What's
asked
the
who
need
he
for
was. You just
$2.25 million for a daycare?
What?
$1 million. Don't worry about it. Get out.
I think they're afraid.
And,
I think they think they're a part of the government, so
Any footprints of any children here?
we're so shot
I
on
don't see
here.
any footprints of any children.
I don't even know at this point.
Guys, get out.
Oh my god, this is too good.
I'm just
Get
asking you
out!
about what we're seeing here.
No, get the fuck out! We don't know you.
You
Get
get out,
out!
sir.
Who are you?
You
Get
have
out!
millions of people watching right now. Can you say what's the need for $2.25 million and where are the 118 children?
Get out.
Sir, I'm
Get
just
out!
asking.
Get out. No, you don't ask me other question. Get out.
You have the opportunity
Get
to
out.
answer
No,
the
no,
question.
no, no, no. You can't ask me nothing. Get out.
You can't ask me nothing. Get out!
Get out.
Sir,
Get out.
just answer the question.
Yeah, I'm gonna be making fun of these people. I mean, I already make fun of fucking Somali butt pirates. anyways.
Alright, code word has been given. We're out. Alright, we gotta get out of here.
I mean, to be honest, there's not a lot of
Sir, answer the question.
Somalians that live
Where are
out
the
in
children? No
California.
footprints of any children around here.
Yeah.
No footprints of any children. They can't even answer the question. We gave them so many
They
opportunities.
live more closer to
We gave them
the
plenty of opportunities. Just
to the
answer some simple
Minnesota,
questions.
Florida,
Millions
right
of
to
people are
the
watching right now.
They
to
came
that
out with
area,
guns
to the
blazing. All
East
we wanna know
Coast
is
for
where are the
some
children?
reason.
118 children, no footprints in the snow. All of their vehicles were sitting there with 2 feet of snow on them. They haven't moved in months.
The windows are all blacked out.
Yeah.
Then again, it's
Same
probably
thing on all
because
these daycares,
California
4
has
bedrooms now.
like
Yeah, they can
basically
answer a
all the
simple question. We
Asian
had it right here.
communities, right?
118 children.
A lot of
$2.25
Asian
million.
communities. A lot of the
Welcome to Minnesota.
right Mexican,
Now, this
probably
daycare center, how much money has
Venezuelan,
this one received?
Honduras,
So
right? A lot of these
this,
Spanish communities. right?
This child care center is called Proud Child Care Center. and it's
So
in
yeah,
Eden Prairie, Minnesota,
mixed bag
which
in
is a
California.
very high income area. It's a further
And then,
out
oh yeah,
suburb,
you also got the Indians,
from Minneapolis, but there are a lot
right?
of
Because of
multi-million-dollar
Silicon
homes
Valley,
right in this neighborhood.
right? The
and
H-1B
this
visas, gotta love those
child care
H-1B
got
visas.
1.25 million in funding in fiscal year 2025 It got 1.08 million last year. It opened in 2021. Let's go see if we can find any kids.
There should be at least 40 children here. Looking at the snow prints, does not look like there's any snow prints of any young children. And all of these windows are completely blacked out. Let's see if we could just talk to somebody. Could I enroll my son Joey into daycare here? Well, do you have a paperwork where I can enroll a child?
That's the you asked
Nick
the
Shirley.
wrong question, sir. The gate would be closed now.
My name's Nick Shirley.
Where
Yeah,
are you
I'm just coming out, seeing if I could enroll my child Joey. We just want to get a statement as to.
Sorry, as you can see, my Indian
why
accent,
this
my
daycare
Somali
needs
accent, they all sound.
$1.26 million, and if it's even
All
possible
sound
to
the
enroll somebody like my child, my imaginary child Joey. No, you guys can't give a clear statement, or could you even give me a paper to enroll a child into the daycare? Just to show that you guys are a legit business. It would debunk all
Why
claims
would
if
you
could
do
just
that?
give me a piece of
Why
paper
are you gay?
saying where to enroll a child.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Okay, well, thank you very much, and I
Have a
hope
good
this
day.
place actually is holding 47 children because you guys are receiving $1.26 million in this year alone. So
You
have a
should
great
just
rest of
have
your
a
day.
good
They won't even give us a paper to enroll a child. Could have debunked all their claims. They can't even do it. One of the big talks about the fraud is about Quality Leering Center. It's a daycare that has received $1.9 million.
No, not this one
licensed for over
again.
99
No,
children.
not
And
this
instead
one.
of Quality Learning, it says Quality Leering Outside. But the big controversy about the Quality Leering Center is that Somalians, after the video went live, they all of a sudden started shuffling children into the
Oh, they
daycare,
fixed
but at the same
they
time,
finally fixed
the
they started fixing it. It's all fixed now. Oh, and they have kids now. Oh my god.
Commissioner of
Oh,
Children
they
in
actually
Minnesota
have
was on a
stuff
live stream
happening.
saying they had closed
Oh
the
my
daycare a
goodness.
week ago.
Quality
Wow.
Learning Center closed just over a week ago.
How much money has this place all received? And what's
So,
By the way, all they're doing is bringing their own, literally bringing their own kids. They're fucking. They're only bringing their own kids in there.
this is the one that's licensed for 99 children. This fiscal year, they've received 1.9 million, and in fiscal year 2024, they had received about 2.2 million. So about 4 million in the last 2 fiscal years.
We're repping the Quality Leering Center, 1-800-FRAUD, as now it had been confirmed that this place was closed down, and now they're shuffling children into the daycare.
So Tiki Brown said this facility was closed.
She said a week ago.
And now magically it's full of cars. So how can it be
Yeah,
closed
magically it's
if
full
people
of
are
cars
coming
now.
and going?
Oh man.
Why do you have everybody?
We are learning now, sir.
You guys can report.
We are learning now, sir. Sir. Sir, you need to back up,
Answer
sir.
a simple question. Look, now he's going inside.
Sir, don't run though. It looks suspicious when you run, brother. And you can smile, but bro,
Sir,
just come
I'm right
speak.
here.
He's right here to speak to you.
I'm right here.
Don't do that. Oh,
You can't
man.
defend the fraud.
Oh, come on. At the daycare doing, hey, not at the daycare doing the middle finger though.
We have like 100 cameras on it.
I
Now,
can't-
both of these people have
I-
interesting ties with politicians inside Minnesota. For
Correct.
instance, the man who's running the daycare.
Oh, yeah,
he
that
was
guy.
celebrating with Mayor Fry after he won re-election of.
Oh,
mayor
really?
inside
He is
Minneapolis.
celebrating with
And
him.
then this
Oh,
lady right here
interesting.
seems to be a friend of Ilhan Omar. And shows photos of her outside of the restaurant. And she also has videos of her giving a tour to a separate daycare
hey,
to Mayor
hey,
Fry.
we got something
it really
going
makes you
on
wonder
in
why these
Minnesota.
politicians haven't fought against the fraud, knowing that it's happening. Politicians like the Quality Leering Center.
Hey.
Meanwhile, they're taking photos and celebrating with
Yeah,
them
honestly,
at
I'd break
events.
these people's
What's your
legs.
message, people, about the fraud here in Minnesota?
Honestly, if these people stepped in
this is
front of
part
my
of the
line
cover-up.
sight, I'd fucking
They're
go
trying
up
to
to
cover
them
their
and break their
tracks.
legs, because I know they're
So,
doing fucking shady
Let
shit.
me say
I don't
this
give a
on
fuck who they
camera.
are.
If you
Hey,
can
I'm going
prove
to jail. I
that
don't give a
any
fuck.
of the information that I have here is false, I'll give
Their
you
ass is in the grass.
$100,000 cash. If any of it's false or inaccurate in any way, anybody want to take me up? And if you can't prove it, you have to give me $100.
So you saying all that's real?
100%. I'll give you $100,000 if you can disprove my information.
See, they all went silent.
Oh, they're just like, oh shit, oh shit, I gotta back up. Oh,
Your
look.
$100 versus my 100,000 cash.
They're just like, oh,
They're all
fuck.
silent. What do you think about the fraud here?
Hey, the fraud here in Minnesota, I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy. Like, what do you mean specifically? What do you mean?
Yeah, how do you feel about this daycare, for instance, receiving $1.9 million? And they couldn't even spell learning right. They spelled leering.
Hey, man, Somalis, they're an interesting creature. I'm not gonna lie, I can't say too much. I'm already too hot. But
I mean, yeah, you shouldn't say too
Tim
much
Walz,
since
you
you live
gotta
in that
solve this
community.
stuff. Minnesota really cracked down on this because they've been doing this for years.
Honestly, the fact that he's
yeah.
like
And at this
showing
point,
his
you're probably
face like that
wondering
is
where
already
all the
dangerous
millions
enough.
and billions of
I'm
dollars
surprised he
has
even
gone.
showed his face like
Well,
that.
it's been well tracked that a lot of the money,
Because you know
hundreds of
Ilhan
millions of
Omar
dollars
and
has
those
been
people are
funneled through
fucking paying
TSA
attention.
at the airport inside of Minnesota. It's been well tracked and documented. Even in 2017, there was reports coming from the local Fox News station, and I was actually able to meet up with a whistleblower who used to work as an agent at TSA on the side of narcotics, and he saw millions of dollars go through TSA.
And what kind of fraud did you see take place here in Minnesota?
So I worked for the airport police for 31 years.
Airport police officer.
24
Interesting.
of those years I worked in narcotics.
He's a law enforcement.
At MSP Airport. And
Or, well, ex-law enforcement
my
now.
recollection was from about 2015-16 to 2021 when I retired. I would get emails from our dispatch saying like 2 male Somali descent individuals. They would give us their names.
Yeah,
They claimed
that
the
sounds
cash
about right.
that they had a large amount of cash at the checkpoints.
Oh, by the way,
we'd get all this information
there's certain
in an email.
Honestly, I probably shouldn't say this, but there are certain certifications you have to get in order to work certain jobs, especially when it deals with confidential information. If you don't get those certificates, obviously you don't get to work that job. But yes, there is a level of certification for keeping things confidential. So he probably had to go through a lot of that stuff.
And I believe they would send it right away. So TSA would contact our dispatch telling us this, then our dispatch
Because
would
obviously,
relay
if you
the info
leak
via
information
email
like that,
to us.
it's a
How
liability,
much was the
obviously.
money?
You could
The
be
money-
sued, stuff like
the
that.
smallest amount in a suitcase that I heard was like $750,000, but generally it was anywhere from
That's why
$1
he's
million
he's
to $6 million in a suitcase.
He doesn't work
and
there.
there
He- well,
usually
he-
was. As far as I can remember,
He's
there was
retired
always
now,
2 individuals
so
traveling.
you could probably
So
say
you'd
some
have maybe
things
one guy
without
with
any
2.2
repercussions
million
anymore.
And another guy with $3 million, and
at airports, you're able to take $10,000 without declaring it.
Yeah,
are you guys
usually
able to take
people who get
millions
those
of dollars?
certifications, they're
as far
under
as I know,
strict.
as long as they declared it,
Unfortunate
fine.
law did not
So
say
then
anything.
TSA
And obviously,
would
sometimes some of those
contact,
people do
HSI and
whistleblow,
Customs,
yes.
And I'm sure they got the information.
But yeah,
we got the information.
under confidentiality,
My
they shouldn't be saying
administration
anything.
Knew about it, and I trust that they sent that on to higher state officials on this, but nothing was ever done the whole time I was there. I talked to one individual. We were going after narcotic cash leaving the airport. This was always fraud. We had no nexus to that this cash was related to narcotics. So our hands were kind of tied. We couldn't do a whole lot.
How do you suspect these Somalians?
Yeah, I mean, even police
millions of dollars
officers
to
have
move
a
in an airport?
strict line
we
of
would rack our
duty,
heads all
and
the
they have
time.
higher ups
Where are
they
they
have to
getting this?
follow.
Where in the
Yes.
world are they
So,
getting this money?
They gotta follow
And
orders.
I had heard about these daycares and whatnot, but I mean, I thought at the time, okay, maybe they had 10 daycares, but apparently they have a lot more than that. We were all just racking our heads trying to figure this out.
So you openly saw just millions of dollars get moved through.
Why do you think a lot of
I saw one time
you
I
got
saw
some
an open suitcase
officers
with
who
the cash, because we were
who are
looking into seeing
corrupted,
if it was
right?
narcotics
It's because they
related, which
probably
it was
had to
not.
do
how much money do you
Some
think?
shady shit behind the scenes because they were told to.
Millions, literally
they
millions and millions. I mean, we're
They
talking
got too
for
many,
a good
right?
5-6 years.
They
You're talking
smoked it too much.
I don't know, 5
they
to
just
6
started doing it
million a week.
constantly.
It would happen twice a week. You would get twice a week where there would be somebody flying, 2 people flying out with $1 to 2 to 3 to 4 or $5 million twice a week, every week, without fail.
And where were those people traveling to?
So this is the word I got, that they would fly to Atlanta, take a flight from Atlanta to Dubai, and then apparently what I had heard was it was too dangerous to go any further with it, so they'd wire the money to Somalia. Whether they scraped a whole bunch off the top and did that, I don't know.
Wow, so they take the money from Minnesota, take it to Atlanta, and then take it to Dubai, and then from Dubai they then wire the money.
Correct. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I
mean, yeah,
told
in a way
by
to, right? Because you don't want to, well, in a sense, you don't want to do it in a state where your name and, right, everything is tied to you. But at the same time, that's also not a good idea, because now you're going federal level, right? Because you're going to a different state to do that. You're going to a different state to do that fraud. Instead of being it at a state level, now you're doing it at a federal level. Yeah. As such goes. Yeah.
Investigators.
So all the taxpayers' dollars.
Such as life.
Funneled through the airports and then taken to Dubai to be sent to Somalia.
Yes. Yes. It appears that's how it all went down. Yes.
I mean, to be honest, it's not out of the question to do that, right? Because you already have people who come in from other countries, right, to deal physically, right? They go into these they go into our country to steal physically, and then they try to, right, then ship that shit out of the country in their luggage and shit, right, back to their country, right? All the shit they've stolen. And some of those people do get away, because obviously you can't capture all those people because it's difficult, right? But yeah. But yeah. I mean, look. It's all believable. Honestly, I don't to watch Nick Shirley's video. I didn't really need to watch this. I mean, look, this fraud is this same fraud might be even happening in all the other states too, possibly. Just in a smaller pool or bubble, right? So, and then this is just one specific instance, right? What about the other instances, right, with other fucking products and services, yeah? Yeah, it starts adding up, right? I mean, I showed you at the beginning how much it fucking costs yearly. So, yeah. That's a lot of money just down the fucking drain because, right, it's being pilfered to other countries that, and we don't even know if it's doing anything in those other countries either, right? Because it just looks like those other countries are still getting fucked up, yeah? So where is that money actually going to, right? Because it doesn't look like it's helping those countries. Because they're still failing. Sorry, I'm again. I do need to use the rest. I've been holding. Also, because I've been drinking. Almost drank this whole bottle. What, 12%? When I come back, we'll... what time is it? I gotta go, or... I got, stuff to do in the morning. Sorry. Fucking with this goddamn RPG. Fucking with the RPG bullshit mechanics. Give me the... I guess let's take a look at the Bryan Kohnerger case. This one was an interesting case. Because, yeah, they couldn't find this guy for like, what, a month or two or something like that? Yeah, for like a month or two, and then they got leads somehow on him. I don't... Right, they kept this quiet because he was on the run. But, yeah.
Let me ask you something. How safe do you feel in your own home? And how sure are you that you'd notice if something was off? Something as simple as a door opening, a footstep in the hallway, or a presence that didn't belong. Do you think that you'd recognize that danger in time? Or would it move quietly around you while you slept soundly at night? On November the 13th, 2022, those questions stopped being hypothetical when 4 university students were murdered inside their own home in Moscow, Idaho. At the time, they were living just off campus in a place that was meant for rest, studying, and safety. And what followed forced a community and then an entire nation to face one of the most horrifying and notorious cases of 2022. Welcome back to Coffeehouse Crime, folks. My name is Adrian, and today we're heading to Moscow, Idaho to look at a case that eventually became known as the Idaho 4. And I'll be honest with you here, the more that you dig at this case, the more that it seems to unravel. In fact, there are many details that I didn't even know about until I started researching this one. By the way, here is a quick reminder that I and the rest of my team at Coffeehouse Crime are all in fact humans, and we don't present with AI. We do have a cat though named Nero, so subscribe for Nero. Or, of course, to support your favorite YouTubers. We really do appreciate it.
Guy.
Thank you. Now then, with that said, let's get down to the usual. Please, grab yourself a coffee, and let's caffeinate while we investigate. This is the case of the Idaho 4. Welcome to Moscow, Idaho, folks. With a population of just over 25,000 residents, Moscow is inseparable from the University of Idaho. When I say that, what I mean is that the university isn't simply in the town, but it is quite literally Moscow's pulse. As for its students, Moscow feels safe. Violent crime is rare enough to feel abstract, and when something bad happens, it tends to be elsewhere to other people. Houses near campus blur into social spaces. girlfriends come and go, and doors are routinely left unlocked. It's the kind of place where noise complaints are the most likely police visit, and where life feels like one long social event day in and day out. Now, on King Road, which is a short walk away from campus and found on the southwest corner of town, was a 3-story rental house that stood like many others. As you may have already guessed, this was just another usual run-of-the-mill student house, cheap and cheerful, and filled with 6 young adults. The location was great actually. You had the university to the north, and a few restaurants found only a few minutes further. However, it was just before noon on November the 13th, 2022, that this house, found on the skirts of Moscow, became the epicenter of one of the most violent and brutal stories that America had seen in years.
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. Tell me exactly what's going on.
Basically, this is the morning of... Basically, when they woke up and found their roommates deceased.
Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Can I just tell you what happened very much? What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
Oh, they're all dead.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is
Yeah,
passed out.
yeah, no, they're just trying to see, is there any immediate attention right now? What happened?
She's not waking up. Okay. Hello? Is she breathing? No. Okay. I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. There's a police here right now. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let you go since he's there with you and can help you. Okay, thank you.
Shortly after this terrifying phone call was made, police arrived at the residence. From the street, nothing looked wrong or out of place. There was no shattered glass, no signs of forced entry, and the curtains were drawn. As they approached the property, some of them even expected that they would only be helping someone wake up. But once they were inside, the reality and gravity of it all quickly set in.
Multiple people
What
with
officers encountered
stab
was
wounds.
nothing short of horrific. And that's because this wasn't a
marks.
single or small medical emergency, but was an all-out catastrophe. Additional units were called in immediately, and the home suddenly changed from a student house into a full-blown crime scene. The home was unnaturally still as police officers moved through its narrow hallways, pausing at corners and closed doors, and
Oh, that guy's
announcing
using a
themselves into
Glock.
rooms that never answered back. The first grim discovery came on the second floor
Sorry.
when 2 students were found inside one of the bedrooms. And as officers continued in their investigation, they found 2 more victims.
Basically,
in a
police
room.
officers,
It was at that moment that they realized that
they can use, they essentially can use any service weapon they choose. This guy chooses
So
a
obviously, they realized
Glock.
that whatever was going on, this extended far past them, or the officers, or even Moscow.
Then again, it might be
Outside,
dependent
the
on
neighborhood's
department to
tone
department.
shifted.
I'm
It is
not
the
too
kind
sure.
of tension that everyone dreads.
But
because
I would
as police
expect
presence grew,
police officers to be
cars
able to
arrived and
choose
men
whichever
remained at the
firearm they
property.
feel more
Everyone
comfortable
waiting
with.
outside knew that this was not going to be just another noise complaint. It was in that moment that one of the officers stepped away from the property to speak with one of its surviving roommates. And from this footage, you can tell how horrified and shaken Dylan was.
All I heard was I heard her go upstairs. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now because she's going upstairs.
And you heard who go upstairs?
Kaylee and the dog Murphy.
And upstairs to the very top?
Yeah, that's where her room is.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I heard her walking up. I heard her scream, and she ran downstairs because she saw someone. That's what I'm pretty sure she said. Someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs. And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared. And then I heard someone in the bathroom, and I heard her crying, and I heard some guy say that you're going to be okay, I'm going to help you. And I kept calling her name, but she wasn't answering. And then I opened the door for a second, and I saw this guy, and he was not insanely tall, but he was wearing all black and like this mask, which is covering his forehead and his mouth. And I
Oh, wait, she saw the...
This
Oh, she actually saw the person.
Now, Dylan claimed that she'd woken up in the middle of the night to sounds that she couldn't quite explain. movement, and voices that all felt a little off. It is worth noting, however, that despite the strangeness, she never felt threatened by any of it. Apparently,
wait,
he
what
was
the
dressed all in dark clothing and didn't even acknowledge her presence.
Wait,
He
what?
just simply walked by towards.
This was never talked about in the initial reporting, by the way. That's why it was so fucking weird. Holy shit, so she actually talked to the fucking person.
The exit. It's the kind of encounter that you'd feel very uncomfortable in, especially as a woman. But with this being a student house, there could have been a million innocent explanations, and so she simply walked back inside her bedroom and shut her door. But the important part here is that her recollection of that evening changed everything about the story at that stage of the investigation. Because not only did it verify that an unknown, mysterious man was inside the property on the night that her 4 friends were murdered, but also that he had acted while everyone was fast asleep in bed. And as investigators took a closer look at the crime scene, they realized that, although clues were in fact sparse, there were a couple that they could indeed work with. But before we jump the gun here, who precisely were the Idaho 4? So, before answering that question, I'd first like to take you behind the scenes here at Coffeehouse Crime. With the turn of the new year, a lot of us are thinking about returning to work, getting back into the swing of things, and of course New Year's resolutions. But the truth is that a lot of us YouTubers don't actually stop over the festive period. And I'm going to let you in on a small secret here about YouTube, but by the time Christmas and the festive season has ended, many of us YouTubers actually see a huge dip to our AdSense earnings. Which makes sense, right? Because everyone's out of their usual routine over Christmas, and while they're seeing their family and friends, they're probably focusing on more cozy subjects. So with that in mind, I just want to say thank you to all of you who come here week in and week out to help support the channel. And with a natural dip over the festive period, this is precisely how our sponsors, like today's paid partner ZocDoc, can help keep the lights on over quieter moments. So, on the topic of resolutions, what have you decided for yourself this year? Is it perhaps pick up a new hobby, maybe go to the gym more regularly, or finally get around to looking after your health? Now, personally for me, I think this is probably the year that I finally get around to fixing my repetitive strain injury that I picked up at the gym. And ZocDoc will definitely help with that. And if health is on your list too, then I would love to tell you
Alright,
about
thank you
them.
for the
those of you who
answer.
haven't heard of ZocDoc, it's a free website that more than 150,000
Yes,
specialties,
ZocDoc.
qualified patient reviews, and also see their appointments and score same day looking after us, and book a top supporting her. As it always goes, they were all just ordinary people before this story became, well, a story. Much like you and I once were, they were all simply students, just caught in the ordinary gravity of college life. So, beginning with Madison Morgan, she was 21 years old at the time, and was a senior at the University of Idaho studying marketing. Friends described her as outgoing and loyal, and someone who kept people close and made plans easily. This is something we'll come back to towards the end of the video, but Madison worked at a local restaurant named the Mad Greek. Having grown up in Idaho, she was nearing the end of her college years, and so she was naturally looking ahead after graduation and whatever came next. Her close friend, Kaylee Gonsalves, was also 21 years old at the time. Also a senior who was studying general studies, she and Madison were described as inseparable. By now, they had known each other for several years, and would have likely been forever friends. Now, Kaylee was only weeks away from graduating, and had already accepted a job out of state. In fact, she had already even recently moved out of the King Road house, but had returned to see her friends. As for the weekend that she was tragically murdered, Kaylee was back in Moscow to spend time with Madison, and also to show her the new car that she had recently purchased. Now, on the second floor lived Sana Konodal, who was a 20-year-old junior that was studying marketing at the time. Alongside her was her boyfriend Ethan Chapin, who was also 20 at the time. Ethan was a freshman who was majoring in recreation, sport, and tourism management, and was well known on campus for his warmth and friendliness. And although he didn't officially live at the King Road house, he spent much of his time here with his girlfriend Sana. Interesting side note here, but both Sana and Madison worked at the same restaurant, and their connection was not accidental. This was a house that was shaped by overlapping friendships. Now, you could say that the house on King Road was rarely fairly quiet. It wasn't overly drunk or dangerous or disorderly, but it definitely was social. Many of their friends would come by without any notice whatsoever. Music would play on the porch on most days, and with this many visitors, the noise was kind of inevitable.
You lived on
It is worth
campus,
noting
right?
that
It
in
was
the months leading up to November, police had
campus
already been called to
dormitories,
the address
almost.
on more than one
Or
occasion.
living spaces.
It wasn't for violence or anything criminal like that, and it was merely just noise complaints. But of course, with students being students, a lot of the other neighbors around would lose out on sleep. And as it turns out, one of those visits was even captured on police body cam footage.
Well, understand that you're responsible for the residents.
Okay.
So whoever else is here, if they have a safe way to get home, you need to kick them out. Or tell them to come inside and be quiet.
Okay.
Because the houses that are on this hill all the way around here, we can hear you from clear down the road when we were coming up here. We can hear the music.
Okay.
And that's
I'm so sorry.
we're past the point of having polite conversations, okay? Because
I'm so
neighbors are being kept up.
As you can see in this video, officers approached the house late at night. The atmosphere was relaxed, and Sana, who answered the door, was cooperative, apologetic, and even friendly. The officers told Sana that she had to keep it down before then being on their way, and from this footage you can see how chill she and everybody else really was. And so, with that said, let's talk about the night of November the 12th, followed by the morning of November the 13th. It was a Saturday, meaning that football was the talk of the town. The University of Idaho Vandals played that afternoon.
Too
and
much
with it
drinking
being a home
and
game at the
partying.
Kiwi Dome, it drew in thousands of students. The Vandals would go on to win that evening, and so it is no surprise to learn that everyone in the area had a reason to celebrate. Sana and Ethan spent their evening at the Sigma Chi fraternity house, and friends would later confirm that the two were together for the entire night afterwards. It turns out that nothing about their evening stood out, and it's reported that the two left sometime around 1:45, before then heading back towards the property on King Road. Meanwhile, both Kaylee and Madison spent their entire night downtown, staying together while they moved through their usual spots in the area. They eventually arrived at the Corner Club, which is a bar just off Main Street and, once again, a regular stop for them. Both surveillance footage and witness reports placed them here until around 1:30 that morning, where they appeared relaxed and with nothing out of the ordinary happening. There was nothing to suggest that anything was wrong or amiss either. So, just like the other two, there was no obvious sign of drama or issue. When the bar closed, Madison and Kaylee walked a short distance towards the Grub Truck, a late-night food stand that was parked downtown. Just out of coincidence, it turns out that the truck was actually live-streaming on Twitch at the time. The camera had surveillance over the sidewalk in a wide, grainy view, where both Madison and Kaylee can eventually be seen appearing on camera while waiting for their food. As you can see, they occasionally
I might have to
over
check
towards
them
the
out
street,
because they do.
and
They
then,
just
at
go
approximately
around streaming
1:56
their.
a.m., the two then leave in a
Rock.
taxi, which was heading
Making
back
food.
toward King Road. Madison and Kaylee arrive home just before 2 a.m., and coincidentally, both Sana and Ethan also make it back around the same time. And soon enough, all of the lights were out, and the property fell silent at last. Now, for a while, nothing happened, and all was peaceful. However, as we know, around 4 a.m. all of that changed. It all began when Dylan, who was asleep on the second floor, woke up to what sounded like the dog playing upstairs. You see, Murphy the dog belonged to Kaylee, and of course Kaylee was visiting Madison over the weekend, and all three of them lived above Dylan on the third floor. And with this being a student house, noise even this late at night wasn't unusual. It wasn't long after this encounter that Dylan then heard Kaylee say something along the lines of, "There's someone here." And again, while that was an odd thing to hear, it didn't register as a danger or a warning at the time. Instead, it sounded casual and perhaps even dismissive. A short while later, she then heard even more noise, but this time, it was actually coming from the same second floor. She described the sound as crying coming from Sana's room, to which she then heard a male voice respond with, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." However, once again, Dylan felt more confused than worried, and there was no obvious sign of struggle or shouting going on. And so, after checking her front door for the second time, she then headed back to sleep. But after opening her door for the third time, well, what she saw would stop her cold, because that is when she came face to face with
I
a
mean,
man
they were
who was
literally
walking straight
stabbed.
towards her. Slowly slinking down the hallway, the man was dressed all in black, wore a face mask, and had bushy eyebrows, a detail that would later matter. But rather than say or do anything to Dylan, he quite literally ignored her existence. Instead, he walked by her and towards the sliding glass door. I mean that quite literally, by the way, because this man didn't even acknowledge Dylan. Instead, he just walked right by her and then, just like that, vanished into the night. Dylan stood frozen as the man passed by. Once he was gone, she then shut her door and locked herself inside her room. And it turns out that she was not the only person or thing to spot something strange that night either. At approximately 4:17 that morning, a security camera, which was found less than 50 feet away from the property, captured some rather strange audio. In this footage, you can hear what sounds like voices or a whimper, which was then followed by a loud thud, and then a dog barking repeatedly.
What the what? Yo, what up,
around the
it's
same
Ash. How's it
time that
going?
a white Hyundai Elantra was
Decided
captured
to
making
open Twitch
several
randomly.
passes
For
through
sure,
the
for
neighborhood,
sure. How's it
after
going,
which
brother?
the car was seen leaving the area
How you
quite
doing?
rapidly.
Been a while.
Moving on to the crime scene. In the hours after the brutal discovery, investigators searched for clues high
Just
and
been,
low. Detectives
chilling.
concluded that the killer had actually done a very good job in leaving almost nothing
How
behind.
you been, bro?
But
Good,
of course,
good.
in this day and age, there is always
Graduating
something that they can
and
work on. It was on the third
pretty
floor,
soon.
and where Madison
This,
and Kaylee were
well,
found,
coming up
that
soon.
investigators discovered a tan
Got my
leather
degree
knife
and
sheath
everything.
on the bed. The sheath was stamped with the
Yeah, how
markings
you doing?
Kabar USMC, and judging by its design, the sheath was designed to stay attached to a belt and not left behind at a crime scene. With all of this in mind, the sheath
Doing a
was
little
carefully
drinking.
collected and then sent for forensic testing. And when the results came back, it was resounding.
Lots, I
Located on
suppose.
the
Oh,
metal
for
snap
sure.
of this sheath was a single male DNA profile. The profile wasn't a mixture or degraded in the slightest. Instead, it offered one single suspect. As the lab work continued, investigators profiled the neighborhood and asked both far and wide for surveillance footage, and thankfully, what they found was movement. Through all of the hours of footage they scoured, no surprise, but they would eventually be most interested in the white Hyundai Elantra that we've already mentioned before. Now, initially,
We're just
analysts
taking a
believed
look
the car to be a
at
2011 to 2013 model.
Where was this? I forgot where this was. This was back in 2022 when this first happened. This guy was on the run for about like a month or two, and then they finally caught him. And then there wasn't a lot of reporting on it because right, they were trying to find him. But yeah, the Idaho murders. At the University of Idaho.
This was eventually extended to be as new as 2016. When police asked the community for help in identifying the vehicle, their response was overwhelming. We're talking about thousands of tips.
I remember
pouring in,
hearing about the
with
murder,
many leads
yeah.
extending into Washington,
I
Oregon,
believe,
Nevada,
crazy
and
stuff,
even
yeah.
Montana. That was a lot
I
of
believe I
land for police to cover.
I
But I'd
streamed
like to draw your
the
attention to
right,
here,
right when it
to the
first popped
nearby
up. I
town
did
of Pullman,
stream
Washington,
the
which can be
news
found
incident,
about 10
right, the
miles
incident.
away from Moscow. Despite
But yeah, there
being
was
different
after that
states,
there wasn't a
driving
lot of
between these two
news
towns
after
only
that
takes
because
around
they were
15 minutes.
trying to track
And
him
it turns
down.
out that one particular white Hyundai Elantra that came from the town of Pullman had now come across their sights. The vehicle's records would lead them to a graduate student living in the area, and his name was Bryan Kohnerger. And surprisingly, not only did his vehicle fit the bill, but when detectives took a closer look into his profile, they realized that his trail was
you got
not
married?
actually settled
Nice,
at all.
nice.
In
Congrats,
fact, he already
got a
had
house
history
and I'm having
with
a baby
Moscow.
at the end
It was in
February.
August
Oh,
of
for sure,
2022,
man. Oh, shit.
and only a few weeks
Coming
before
up pretty
the killings,
soon, man.
that Bryan
Coming up
had been
pretty
stopped
soon.
by Moscow police
Congratulations.
for a routine traffic violation. Now, at the time, this interaction was quite unremarkable. He gave the police officers his ID, answered their questions, and then provided them with his phone number. So, when investigators later applied for warrants to obtain historical phone records, they took this opportunity to check out his location data.
Everything
And when
is
they
going
did,
well.
Well, let's just say that it painted a pretty devastating story.
Yeah, no problem. Good to hear.
Surprisingly, it showed that Bryan was in the area of King Road at least
As
a
well as
dozen
can
times
be
in
for
the
now,
months leading
yep,
up
yep.
to November the 13th.
Doing
with
enough,
most
you're
of
not
these
gonna get
visits
a lot of
happening late at
sleep.
night or in the early hours of the morning.
Good luck
Of
with
course,
that
this
one.
was a very strange detail for detectives to realize because Bryan had no business in the area. So, why was he
Oh,
reportedly
you almost
traveling
moved
to
out of
King Road
Cali? Oh,
without
really?
any
Wow.
purpose or reason? Detectives also realized that between 3 and
Yeah,
5
I mean,
on the morning of the
given
murders,
given
Bryan's
everything
phone
that's been
stopped
happening
connecting
in
to nearby
Cali, I mean,
towers
it's
altogether. It didn't appear
pretty
near King
expensive,
Road or anywhere else
especially
for that
to
matter, and was
start a
untraceable in a
family. Yeah.
4G and 5G rich area. In short, the phone was decisively turned off for 2 hours that morning, over the space where 4 people were murdered. And of course, that wasn't reassuring at all to detectives. If anything, it was incredibly suspicious. And when his phone was finally switched on and connected back to the network, it showed Bryan
Still
traveling
might later
southwest
on. I
away
mean,
from the crime scene,
yeah,
which of course aligned
it
perfectly
will
with the
definitely
surveillance
fix your
footage.
wallet
And all of a sudden,
situation.
the
That's
data
for sure.
and even the lack of data
If
was
you
creating a very
literally
damning picture.
living anywhere else than California will
Now,
fix your
if that
wallet
wasn't enough
situation.
already, detectives in Pennsylvania
But yeah,
would then
then
go on to
the
recover
other
trash
issue
from
is
Bryan's family home. Of course,
trying to
the
find a
main
stable
aim here was to
job
try to
and
find DNA
right,
that
stuff like
belonged
that.
to Bryan or his family. And when they finally tested trash that belonged to his father, lab analysis showed that the profile was consistent with being the biological father of the person whose DNA had been found on the knife sheath. All of a sudden, all of these separate articles of evidence which had once floated separately, that being the sheath, the car, the DNA, and the phone, was now all coming
Hard to find
together.
good
And
stuff
what
when you're
initially
further
began
away,
as
yeah.
a lone, mysterious man walking down a hallway had now transpired
Yeah, right
into the
now I'm trying to
actual
look for a
name
job
of
too.
the Idaho 4 killer.
I've
So,
been
we know his name and we know all about his behavior.
posting up job
But who precisely is
applications,
Bryan Kohnerger? 27 years old at the
places
time,
and whatnot.
Bryan Christopher Kohnerger seemed ordinary enough at first. Of course, minus that death stare, because that is not ordinary. Now, on the surface, his life appeared to be structured and was directed by
Bro,
his
let's make a
routines,
game
academic
together.
goals,
Well, I mean,
and a
you do
quiet
have
sense of ambition.
you were
Born on
studying
November the
computer
21st,
science, yeah.
1994,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
raised
definitely
in
doable.
Pennsylvania, Bryan grew up in a suburban
I
home
haven't
with
done a
his
lot
parents
of
and sisters. Family members would later describe
game
his childhood as
programming.
normal and
I've
definitely
just
not
been doing
troubled. He attended local schools, moved through his teenage years without any
bioinformatics,
notable drama, and always seemed relaxed. People who knew
database
Bryan
stuff.
in his earlier life do recall his
yeah,
struggles, however.
not so
As a
much,
teenager,
yeah, I
Bryan
haven't
dealt with both
touched
weight issues
anything
and
in
social
the
isolation.
game
Over
field,
time, he would
unfortunately.
eventually lose most of his excess weight and would then become focused on discipline, boxing, running, and strict routines. Academically speaking,
Drabby
Bryan
is
first
down.
earned
Oh, for
himself
sure.
an associate's
Has he
degree
been
before then
studying
going on
some
to receiving a bachelor's degree in
computer
psychology.
science as well?
Strangely enough, his interests would even narrow
Oh, he
down
wants serious beefs? Ah,
and
for
he
sure,
then
for
went
sure,
on
yeah.
to complete a master's
Oh, yeah.
degree in, you guessed it, criminal justice. Now, here's the interesting part, but it turns out that his coursework focused on criminal behavior,
I haven't been trying to
investigative
do
methods, and even the mechanics
video
of
game
crime
design
itself. And then, in 2022,
coding
he enrolled in a PhD
seriously
program in
as of
criminology
right now.
at Washington State University in Pullman. Bryan came across
Yeah,
as
he's
both
made it right.
serious
He's been
and
working for the
reserved,
government.
and
Oh,
although
for
he
sure,
wasn't
for
known
sure.
as an extrovert, he was described as sometimes confident. Other people would say that he was cold, corrected others during discussions, and would take debate
What is he
way
doing?
too seriously.
Computer
Interesting
science
side
stuff?
note, but he had also applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department as a data analyst. And although he wasn't accepted into the program, you can quite clearly see his intentions. In the days and weeks after the murders, and while Bryan was still a free man, people who
Coding
saw him
video
said he
games
appeared
for the
quiet and
military.
more withdrawn. It was also noted that he attended all
Hey,
classes
man,
as
they
usual,
love their
continued on with
military
his
sims, yeah.
routine, and although a little bit more quiet, his behavior didn't seem
As he
much different
describes
than
it.
before. It was almost like
I mean,
nothing big had happened in his life.
well, I mean, that
But
can
little
mean a
did
lot
he
of
know
things.
that soon enough he was going to come face to face with dozens of
I
armed
mean,
officers.
you designing drone.
It was on the morning of December the 15th,
Drone programs?
2022, that Bryan and his father were driving home for
what
the
kind of-
holidays. This included a 2,300-mile journey from Idaho to Pennsylvania. However, not long into the journey, officers would stop them in their tracks. but not for the reason you'd expect. They were initially stopped in Hancock County, where an officer pulled the vehicle over for following another one too closely. After approaching Bryan's window, he handed over
Dictator
his license and
removers.
his registration without any hesitation. The
I
deputy
mean, they
explained
just
the
removed
reason for the
Maduro,
stop,
yeah.
issued them a warning, and then sent Bryan and his father away. However,
That
only
is a
9 minutes
possibility.
later, officers appeared yet again. Now, at this stage, you might be thinking to yourself that maybe officers were finally going to arrest him. However, unfortunately, you'd be wrong. This time, it was an Indiana State Police trooper that stopped them for the very same reason as before. But even still, no search was conducted, and once again, they were released without a warning. Now, at the time, neither of these stops was unusual or strange, and no laws had
sweet,
been
you
broken.
update your banners?
So there was no plausible reason
Banners?
for them to
Banners.
detain Bryan. But of course,
Which banners?
these two moments stand out not for what happened, but what didn't happen. You have to remember here that at this stage in the investigation, both Bryan and his car were under the spotlight, and yet here they were being noted down not once but twice before then being allowed to go on their way. However,
Oh,
thankfully,
for
less than
channel
2
info.
weeks
Oh,
later,
yeah.
their journey would end in a very
Yeah, I had
different
to,
way. By the
yeah, I
final week of
changed it.
December, the investigation had
'Cause,
gone quiet on the
I
surface.
paid someone to do
However,
that.
behind the scenes, investigators were no longer looking for who was responsible, but instead were merely waiting to act on it. They already had the outline of the case, the car, the phone data, the timeline, the DNA, and the man
Yeah,
responsible.
paid for the
And so,
art.
in the early hours of December the 30th, 2022, law enforcement finally made their move. It was shortly before dawn that a tactical
Honestly,
team
I feel like I
arrived at
could have just
Bryan's
done it
family
myself.
home.
I don't know why
Now,
I paid
according
for
to
it.
police reports, they actually found him while he was digging through his own
Yeah,
family's
there was really
trash
no
can
reason to
while
pay for
wearing
it.
latex gloves. Now, for any innocent
Been
person
hitting the
out
range
there,
still?
I don't think
No,
it's how
not
you'd
really
spend
as
your
of right
typical
now.
Friday morning.
I've been
So,
actually
I guess
getting
you could
back
say
into
that they
Pokemon and
actually
just
caught
been
him red-handed.
fucking.
Brian was arrested
Oh
for
boy.
the incident, and when he arrived at the
Oh
police
boy.
station,
I've been
he was
spending too
charged
much
as a
money on
fugitive
Pokemon.
from
Oh, fuck.
justice. That being a procedural
Yeah, I've been
step
getting
that
back
allowed
into
Idaho authorities to
Pokemon
bring him back
cards.
across state lines.
No, the cards.
Simultaneously,
TCG.
search warrants were executed on his home,
Been
his
chasing
belongings, and the white Hyundai
the
Elantra that had
expensive
already
cards.
traveled thousands of miles with him. Detectives would also seize both
I
his
got back
phone
into
and his
magic,
computer,
right?
which,
Chasing
funnily
magic
enough,
cards,
would conveniently
chasing
lead to an entire
Pokemon
album
cards.
of his selfies being released, categorized into selfies that he had taken before the murders and after.
Our games
Speaking
are
of
expensive as
selfies,
fudge.
this
Oh
one
yeah,
was
man.
taken
I mean,
not even 6 hours after he had murdered
given what I
4
found
innocent
recent,
people. I would also like to question why he took so
during my
many
time
photos
just
of his own
recently
butt.
trying to get back into it.
Investigators
Oh
would later
man,
state that sections of his browsing
I found some
history
good
from
stuff.
the weeks leading up to the murders were also missing, and that absence was extremely
I actually got
abnormal.
some
And
chase
as for his
cards,
mobile
so
phone,
it's like, yeah,
well,
I'm
unfortunately,
still
the
chasing,
data
man.
was
Still
sparse.
chasing. I got
Brian
those hits.
barely kept any
It's
contacts
a
in his phone book.
it's a
It was
gamba
mostly
addict.
just
That's
his
a-
mother and father, and records showed that they frequently communicated
Gamble
in the days after
addiction.
the murders, which included both text messaging and phone calls.
Oh yeah,
But
the
beyond that,
Lacani, yeah, the
authorities have
Disney
been
cards,
quite
yeah,
careful in what
yeah.
they've publicly released.
Yeah, those are, yeah,
They have
those just
referenced
entered the
material
market. Yeah,
suggesting
those are pretty
rather
big.
disturbing interests, and have also
One
noted
Piece
that there
just
are
entered the
patterns of
market.
online
Those are pretty
activity
big.
that point towards fixation and control. However, most of that evidence has
And
not
then,
been
yeah.
disclosed publicly in detail. But what really mattered here is that
Yeah, a
each
lot of,
element on its own would describe
You got
a
a
little bit
new
of the story.
Magic,
But when
the
they were all
Gathering
put
sets,
together,
like the
well, that created
Teenage
a much
Mutant
stronger
Ninja
picture,
Turtles
and one
and
that
the
was far more
Avatar, Spider-Man.
The public's
Yeah, there's a
outrage
lot of
was
good.
immediate, and
Yeah,
as
if
for
you're a
Brian's
card,
reputation,
if you're
well,
into
you
a
could
lot
say
of
that
that
he's
stuff,
become
yeah,
one of the
it's
most hated
pretty
men
good,
in
pretty
America.
good.
In fact, he's become so notorious in the recent 2 or 3 years that I'd be surprised if he hadn't heard of his name before clicking this video. His trial was scheduled for June the 30th, 2025. And for about 2 years, everything was building up towards that moment. During all that time, they'd been collecting statements, testimonies, and of course all of the evidence that we've already talked about. But the thing is, that trial would unfortunately never happen, because only a few weeks before it was set to begin, Bryan accepted a plea agreement.
Yeah, he
To
made the
elaborate
plea
here,
deal.
Bryan formally
Yeah,
pleaded
that was,
guilty to the murders of
man,
Madison,
I was,
Kaylee,
that was so unfortunate when he made that plea deal. Because I really wanted to see the trial. Because, right, the whole thing was so strange. right? When they first reported it, they didn't give out too much information. Right? They didn't, right? They didn't say a lot of this fucking beginning stuff. Where it's like, oh yeah, one of the roommates actually talked to the fucking the perpetrator as he was leaving. But he just left. Nothing happened. Like, what the fuck?
Sana and Ethan, and an associated burglary charge.
But yeah,
and with his plea accepted,
a lot of the
he narrowly
details
avoided
were
any trial whatsoever.
not talking about.
However, one of the most frustrating things about this case is that Bryan refused to comment past his
Let's
plea
be
deal.
cops, bro.
What that means is that he didn't provide any explanation or acknowledgement beyond the
that's a
admission
little dangerous
itself,
right now.
and neither could the court ask him to describe what he had done or even why. It also meant that because he had pleaded guilty,
A little
the state
dangerous
was
right now,
forced
especially
to
with
withdraw its
all the
pursuit
heat
of the
that
death
cops
penalty.
and
It basically meant
fucking
that
ICE
because
are getting
Bryan
right
had
now.
merely said he was guilty, he wouldn't face trial, wouldn't have to explain himself, wouldn't have to face his victims' families, and wouldn't have to face death itself.
Especially in
But the good news
SoCal,
here
you
is
know.
that he also waived his right to any future
I mean,
appeals,
because there's
and
a
the legal
big
system
right
accepted
there's
certainty
a
without
big
any further
immigration
detail,
community.
meaning there is literally
right?
no way he can
And then
leave
they
prison.
hear,
However, on the other side
right?
of the
They
coin,
hear
it
whatever
still
the
means that we
bullshit
will never know
news
his
media
motive or
outlets are
any
telling
intricate
them. So
details
it's
of
like,
his
yeah,
crime,
it's-
because unfortunately,
can't really do
his
much
right for
about
trial
that.
in the future was waived away too. At his sentencing, the judge imposed 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, ensuring that each victim's life was recognized individually and that there would be no mechanism by which Bryan could ever be released in the future. He was also given additional time for the burglary charge too, which of course was largely symbolic in the face of his life
Play
sentences.
Facebook.
During his hearing, family and loved ones of the victims addressed the courtroom. They spoke of who the Idaho
I
4
mean,
were before
to be
November
honest,
the
it's
13th, and how
some of
now
social
their
media is to
futures will
blame
never
because they,
unfold due to the
right,
actions
you
of
got
one
people
disturbed
misrepresenting
individual.
things,
Unsurprisingly,
mischaracterizing
Bryan
things,
himself
right?
offered no statement
I mean,
of his
right?
own, and basically kept quiet
The
for
United
entire
States
thing.
didn't need that
And when the hearing was
disinformation
over,
board.
he was led
Right?
away in
I mean, the
handcuffs to begin the
disinformation
rest
board
of
is
his
already
life in
social
maximum
media.
security.
That's right.
And thankfully, from this moment onwards, his movements will be heavily controlled.
Oh,
his
those
contact
Zuckerberg is
limited,
turning into
and
a
his
badass.
days
I
will
mean,
be
he's cleaning up his
extremely
image after
repetitive.
the fucking
His
meta
life won't
leak
be
and
easy,
right
that's for sure.
the
deserves to
Facebook
be,
documents
or, quite
and
frankly,
the
that he even deserves one. As you can
the
likely
Twitter
imagine, his plea agreement
Twitter
did nothing
document
to bring
leaks
relief.
about how
In
the
fact, for some
government
people,
was
it actually
forcing
kind of
them
felt
to say certain
unfinished.
things,
By
right?
removing the death penalty and
To do certain
requiring no
things.
explanation, his agreement left dozens of questions unanswered. Of course, as a result, the full story would never be told in court. And I'm still left wondering here, why that house? Why did he target those students? And what truly
that
happened
was
in
during
those
COVID
final
too.
minutes?
Way
Tragically,
back.
we will never know. Okay, as far as the factual information goes,
Oh, well,
this
3
is
years
where the
ago, too.
story ends. But before I finish
2022-ish.
today, I would love to talk about the credible speculation that we've seen. As far as motive or direction is concerned, many people believe that Bryan may have been targeting Madison, whose bedroom was located on the 3rd floor. I would like to highlight that there is no proof that the two had any personal relationship.
Yeah, I mean,
or
everybody
even
went
knew
off
each
their
other.
fucking
However,
rockers
Bryan's
during COVID.
movements
That's for
do
sure.
assume that maybe he was
I mean,
targeting her.
granted,
reason
the
that some
government
people
was to
believe
blame for
this
some of
is
that
that
too,
when
especially
intruding
when
the
they
property,
had
he
to,
bypassed most of the rooms in the house and went
right,
straight
making
to
you
her bedroom.
stay
It
in
is also
close
the same
vicinity
room where
with
Bryan's
already
knife
sick
sheath
people
was
who shouldn't
found.
be in.
But the problem for Bryan is that
who should be quarantined and not
Madison's
stuck
friend
with other
Kaylee
sick
was also
people.
there at the time,
Yeah, that was a
which
bad idea.
of course would have shifted his actions
Right,
entirely. Mobile phone
Cuomo,
data would also
New
suggest
York,
that Sana, who
right,
was
a
on
lot
the
of these
second
states
floor,
got a
was
lot of
also
people
awake on her
fucking
phone
killed.
shortly
They
before the
fucking did
murders,
that.
and that her room sat along the likely path that Bryan would have had to take to leave. This means that both Sana and Ethan would have likely been unintentional witnesses that Bryan would have likely wanted to silence after murdering both Madison and Kaylee. And with the speed in which Bryan left the property and the sheath left behind, many believe that the situation got out of hand and then he panicked. And so, if we were to believe these speculations, we would assume that Bryan had broken into the property with the objective of targeting Madison, panicked when he realized that she wasn't alone, murdered 2 innocent women as a result, and then doubled that to 4 when he realized that he couldn't leave any witnesses behind. Speaking
I
of
don't know,
speculation,
man. He
there
was
are
kind
many
of
thoughts and
scatterbrained,
feelings
it
around
sounded
the
like.
Mad Greek,
Because then
which,
he
of
left
course,
through
is the
that door
restaurant
without...
where both Madison and
Right, he
Sala
left through that
worked.
door
In
without
the early
killing the
stages of this
other,
investigation,
right,
there were some media reports
people
that
in there,
suggested that
right? He
maybe
only killed
Bryan
4
had
people.
visited the
And there was,
restaurant
what,
in the
6
weeks
people
and
total?
months leading up to
The
the
house?
murders. And of course, this opened the doorway to possibilities
Very
of how
sloppy,
Bryan had
by the
maybe
way.
become
Very
aware
sloppy.
of Madison, or even Sana. The restaurant's owner has publicly denied recognizing Bryan and stated that neither she nor any of her staff ever recall him being there. In addition to this, law enforcement has never
I'm saying that
confirmed
like
any
I should.
interaction between him and the victims at the restaurant, and no evidence has ever been released to support the claim either.
Hey,
And so,
man,
as it
people
stands,
murder
and as far as we
for,
know, the whole Mad Greek
you got
connection
people
remains
murdering for
unverified.
hire and
And
shit
all of that is
sometimes.
despite this image right here, which is an image released by law enforcement showing a raw data extract taken from a Google review. Anyway, that is as much as I would like to speculate, and I'm going to wrap this one up by remembering who the Idaho 4 were, because their lives matter far more than the person who took them. Madison Mogan was more than just a name tied to a case. She was a friend who showed up, a co-worker who made work easy, and a daughter who stayed close to home even when she was planning her future. Family and friends alike miss her tremendously, and the void that she has left behind will likely never heal. This is the same for Kaylee Gonzalez, who was a true friend with an honest path ahead. She had plans already forming, a new job waiting, and a life that was only beginning to open outwards. She loved fiercely, spoke openly, and returned to Moscow that weekend for only one simple reason, to lovingly spend time with one of her friends who had become an important part of her life.
Yeah, they're all good looking, and then all this
for her energy and her humor,
bacon.
and her friends remember her for the way
All
that
young,
she filled
too.
a room without even trying. She balanced work, school, and relationships responsibly, and still
Rip,
made
cute
time
white
and
girl.
space for happiness. Ethan was described as kind beyond measure and made people feel included without effort. On the night that he was murdered, he was staying with the person that he loved, in a house that he felt safe in, and in a town that always was. As for the house on King Road, it remained vacant for a long time, but over the weeks and then months and then years that it remained empty,
Oh, they
it
fucking
basically
demolished it?
became an ominous ghost in the area, reminding people and the town of the horrors
A
that it
meth
held.
to
And
overpower
so,
2
it is no
dudes
surprise
easily.
to learn that
That's the
eventually it was decided to be torn down as
the
a
thing
matter of
is,
respect. Now, only
one-
open ground remains in its space, and it's not clear if
one
anything
of the
will ever be
I
built
don't
on
remember. Let's see.
In the same way that we finished last week's video, I always find
Was it the 2
fascinating when a building
guys?
is
Who,
left
no,
behind,
I think it
not
was only
only for
one
what
of the
it stood
guys
for
who got
before
got.
the murders, but also
Everyone,
how it transformed in the process. I think in this case, it absolutely was the right decision to demolish the house,
Who
because
was it?
unfortunately, those 4 walls have experienced
Madison,
so much pain.
Kaylee,
And that, folks, is the case of
Xana,
the
and
Idaho
Ethan.
4,
Yeah,
at
so it was
least as
only
it
one of the
currently stands
guys,
in
and then
January
3 of the women.
2026. Of course, with Bryan not
And
sharing
then
much
you
of his
had
own
one
motive or
guy-
story, there is still potential for more information to come out.
How many
in
were in the
future.
house?
We can only
Fuck.
hope that he does
There's like
so
6
to bring
people,
closure
right?
to the victims' families. Before I go, I'd love to know what you think about this case, because of course it is quite the notorious one, so I'm sure you have your own opinion. As always, please share your thoughts in the comment section down below. I really do appreciate the feedback too. And thank you again to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video. Go to ZocDoc.com/coffeehousecrime to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. If you'd like to follow me on social media, you can go to my Instagram, Facebook, or Spotify. all under
Okay,
the
so
name
yeah,
of
I was right.
Coffeehouse
6
Crime.
college
And
students,
of course, YouTube
right?
is my main home base. Anyway, folks,
And-
as you can
okay,
probably
so
tell, my voice is absolutely
one
shot
female
today,
survived
so I'm
and
gonna
the
end it here. I'll see you again
other
very shortly
male
for another video,
survived.
likely next week. But until that moment arrives, remember to look after yourselves and each other. And of course, stay safe and stay curious. Thank you.
Yeah.
And goodbye.
So the one couple survived, but the other 4, right? One couple deceased, and then the other 2 women, and then only one couple survived. Yeah, it was weird. He didn't even go into the room with Bethany and Dylan. He skipped that room. He did not go into that room for some reason. But he went into the other rooms. So yeah, really weird. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Still don't know why the fuck he did it. It was just so random. And we may never know, unfortunately, because he seemed off his rockers. He seemed like he was high off his rockers. It was just an experiment. I don't know about that one, man. Trespassing into nuclear disaster zone? Yeah, that's... I feel like one of the girls said something to him that stuck. Oh yeah, during the trial. Or not trial, but the sentencing or hearing, right? If we don't exercise the power, we will lose it. Adam Schiff responds to Venezuela power wars. What do you mean? I mean, Trump just went in and just took him out. I don't know why you're trying to stop him. I mean, what are you trying to do at this point? What, you want to give Maduro back? You want to put Maduro back into that position of power when you know he's already a fucking shady motherfucker? Like, what? Huh? That doesn't make any sense.
After weeks of frustration from players,
You might as well just take him out and let someone else fucking run that goddamn fucking place. Right? You really need someone else to run that place, because fuck, man. They're just scared. I guess. I mean, you still have some right, you still have some people who are, right, still staunch supporters of Maduro still, right, in Venezuela. But I mean, they're far less compared to the staunch supporters of wanting freedom and shit, right?
and CEOs alike, Larian...
We're gonna look at Larian tackled their critics head on. Or we're gonna change it up a bit. We're gonna look at some video game stuff.
Today I can confirm that after weeks of frustration from players and CEOs alike, Larian will not be using generative AI for their writing or their concept art. Now, those were the two things that made fans feel betrayed. Of course, some argue that they didn't really need to change course. The way some thought about it is that however they choose to make their games, ultimately the final quality would speak for itself. But it's very clear that Larian wanted
Have
to
I
gain
played
the
WoW
faith of
recently?
their audience.
No.
So
They're coming out with new
They
stuff
engaged
recently.
directly with
So,
players,
yeah.
and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so Larian came into 2026 wanting to talk about their big new game, Divinity. You see, there are now 500 people across 7 studios
I've just
working in
been
that game. It's in full production.
busy with other stuff.
And when we take a look
I
at
haven't
the
tried to
response
go back to
AMA
WoW,
that's kicked
really.
off this whole video, we do see it covers features, narrative direction, and lessons learned from Baldur's Gate 3. But that wasn't the big talk of the town. No, the AI stuff was. So the very first question answered by Larian was not one about their games, it was one about their development process. And what we learned is that they're taking the complaints seriously. The Bloomberg interview stuff, so generative AI in concept art and in writing, basically had hurt them. Sven Vinke, I think, swearing in a little bit of frustration, perhaps thinking this kind of is blown out of proportion. That was just the surface of things, and it was quite loud. But underneath, it's clear that Larian have wanted to soothe fans who felt just betrayed by what they've seen as hypocrisy. And that's why the first thing said in the AMA was that they were, in fact, backing down. In the AMA, Vinke wasted no time. He reiterated that they never generated, quote, actual concept art with generative AI, in his view. But now,
Oh yeah,
in
a lot
response to
of the
confusion around the topic, he went and he said this.
a lot of the industry is crashing out over AI usage right now.
Development. That way, there can be no discussion about the origin of the art. And actually, I'd say it's that second part that matters here, because Vinke is acknowledging the fear that Larian was using tools that were basically trained on assets grabbed from the internet, which obviously a lot of people, a lot of artists have a big problem with, understandably so.
I mean,
basically, the idea
look,
is that
to be honest, some of the AI bubble is real. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, a lot of these companies are already using tools that have AI implementation within them. I mean, they might not think AI implementation is within them, but they are. I mean, what are those sliders and right, making making up fucking images sometimes are.
But using these tools would risk poisoning any concept art.
A lot of the tool, right? A lot of these different variables and sliders you're already using are implemented into AI in a sense. It's just it doesn't have the full system built out for it.
For mood boards, doodles,
Doesn't have
combinations of text and images, not final
the
art.
automated
But
system,
now
right? It's
basically
the
not being
automation.
used at all.
in a
I
sense.
suppose the Steelman case is that if you are not an artist and you're struggling to convey a visual idea, at least these tools may allow you to basically say, look, I'm struggling
The
to
same
get the exact
AI
words
isn't
for what I
even
mean,
AI, yeah.
but this mood board thingy
I
that
mean, you
generated, that
gotta
basically
start AI
communicates.
somewhere,
Now, obviously,
right?
whether that passes your sniff
I mean,
test or
even
not
if
is
it's not
completely
AI
up to you. I'm not gonna
completely,
tell you what to
you're still
think,
using
but
some of
I'd say
the
that was more
pathways or
originally the framing that
right
they were
some
going
of
for.
the code
It
that
didn't
you're
fully land.
writing
A lot of
into
nuance was
AI,
lost.
right?
I
You're
think
gonna
this
use
is
that
the
code
better
and then
decision
put
to
it
just
into
say,
AI.
No, we'll remove this fear entirely
Because
by
you're
not
still building
engaging.
out the full
But of course,
system.
it's not just pixels, it's also words. The writing director, Adam Smith, followed up on the writing side of things, talking about the generated placeholder text that was mentioned.
mean, what
in
are
the interview
operating
with Jason
systems?
Schreier that set all of this stuff off a while ago. What did Sven
Right,
mean
without
whenever
the
he was talking
right
about
without
that?
the
Well, in Adam Smith's
automation
words,
or
it
some
didn't.
fucking
Basically, Larian
tool
ran a
telling
test
you,
with
hey,
a small number
do
of
this.
writers who were using generative tools to create placeholder text for research.
Right, it
And
already
not for
has
game.
the
results,
task
according to him,
manager
were
and
worse
stuff like
than
that. It
even
already
his,
has the
quote,
back end
worst
built out.
first drafts, hitting a quote.
You just
3
didn't
out of
build
10
out
at
the
best.
subsystem
game design team
to
also confirmed
automate
that it
certain
couldn't be used
things.
there either, that the technology simply for them wasn't productive. And you know what? As I record this, I think I'm stumbling onto a little bit of an insight here. One of the reasons we're seeing so much slop in the world is that all of this technology makes the cost of creation way lower. I use the word creation there. Obviously, a lot of people would say, no, that's the cost of generation, hence the slop. I get that.
I mean, the real issue is companies,
that the
right,
distinguishing
driving
factor
up the cost of all
actually
your fucking
taste,
hardware
because
and shit.
in the hands of people who wouldn't
Nah, that's the
look at
real
those
issue.
drafts and think, God, that's a 3 out of 10. That's a bit shit.
Divinity trailer was wild. Oh yeah, that trailer was so good. I can't wait for fucking Divinity, the new Divinity. Honestly, I kind of wanted to go back to the other ones and try and finish them.
About a lack of media literacy.
I was close to finishing 2. I think I was on the last chapter of 2.
History, culture, all of that stuff in a rich fashion.
Or
in a
second to
way
last
that
chapter.
develops, in this case, a professional taste. And I guess when you look at a studio like Larian and you think about the strengths of their writers, it is.
Oh yeah,
because, yes, in
Tyranny.
addition
Yeah,
to
the
crafting
I forgot
magnificent
about that one
words,
too. Yeah,
they
the
also
new
do
Tyranny
that
game that they
with
made.
good taste. They know what good is. They know what good isn't. And that's what allows them to make a fantastic final product. And I think that's where the hype and the grifting about the generative AI really hurts the AI field. Because ultimately, it seems a lot of people are just trying to use it to fast track to an end product. Maybe because they're valuing having a product more than they are
Yeah, in
the
a way,
quality
yeah.
and the art of that product. And maybe that is why so many things.
I mean, you
are
already had
remaining
some of those
so
companies
hollow
who
and
tried to
feeling so
use
much like
AI
slop. I never
completely,
really expected
and
that
then they
would
turned
go
out to
in
be
that
fake
direction
company.
because the thing they've proven they have is taste. And maybe that is why exploration.
Yeah, there was that.
is worried
Fuck,
people
I
as
can't
much
even
as it did.
remember
But
the
to get back
game
to the
name because it
practical,
was
what
so
this means is
fucking
that
bad.
Divinity going forward will have
But it was supposed to be
generative
like
AI
some
stuff,
MMO
concept art writing,
RPG
or
shooter
game design.
game, and they used
Very
all
least, that's what
AI.
leadership says.
Oh, shit.
Whether you trust, well, that is completely up to you. But the game is now in full production, so there is a little bit of a gray area where existing concept art maybe had some influence from that original process and those original tests.
Yeah, it was
but at
it
least
was
going
like
forward
it
now,
was
the
a
standard is clear and it's
zombie
been made
survival
clear in
game.
public. But there's a little bit of an asterisk, and that's because Larian
And
still
they
has
built.
a
Well,
director
I
of
don't
machine
even know if they
learning.
built out,
We should
but
talk about that.
they
Alright, so one of the
showed
people
off
answering questions
gameplay.
here was
Well, not
Gabriel
really
Bosk,
gameplay, but they
basically
showed
is
off
Larian's machine learning director. Now, machine learning director is not generative AI director.
well, actually, they did
I know
release
we
the
could have
game,
a
or they
talk
released
about
the
semantics,
beta
computer science side of things,
on
but,
Steam,
let's just kind of go with
and
the
then a lot of
commonly
some of the
understood
streamers
definitions there.
played it, and then
Basically, he described
and then
the
they were
uses of
like,
machine
"Dude, this
learning
is
that
bullshit,"
wouldn't apply
and
to
then they
things like
immediately
Midjourney
took
or
it down
ChatGPT.
after.
And these are things like reducing a bunch of the human
It was up
work
for like a
that would be
day or
needed
two,
for, say,
and
processing
then
thousands of voice lines.
people
Things
were like,
cleaning up
"Yo, I want a
animation
refund."
stuff. Because basically, whenever you get raw mocap data, it's very much not that mocap is
Oh, the
a
zombie
magic
game with
box
Will
that gets
Smith,
you
yeah.
an amazing performance in your game. But before an animator
just
is
so
even
bad.
applying their creative skills to that, they have so much data cleanup to do. So automating something like that using machine learning seems like a great way to allow the animator to, you know, focus on their big skill set, animating. But there is another generative thing that Gabriel talked about. It's one built entirely on Larian's internal data, where what they're doing is they're using their own motion capture footage.
Yeah, I've always popped this question too. Is it really? Are you really using AI in a bad way if you're just using your own work and just asking the AI to, hey, generate something of my own work, and just put some placeholder here for now?
And audio to generate new movement for lines that don't have any mocap. That gives the animation team a base from which they can adjust and edit.
I mean,
Now, I know
and
you've probably
technically,
heard things like
all
that
of these
before.
companies
One of the
can
great examples
do
would
that,
be
you know?
the default facial animations
It's
that you
just,
get
in a sense,
say,
setting up the
Mass Effect
LLM
Andromeda.
to do
the
that.
thing is, that was a less sophisticated approach, which meant that the default was really not that good. You could say that when you're Larian and you've got all of the data that they have, that they could make that automated system far better in terms of raising up the floor and then letting their animators actually do work where it
Correct.
really has impact. So that's
also,
what
this
talked
is
about. And
right.
while
Honestly,
Larian has no
all this
problem
is to
tinkering
do
with
is to
mocap to fill in gaps,
cut down
one
on
thing they
the
confirmed is
time
they
that it
won't
takes
use
to
this
do all
stuff
this stuff.
for
Right?
voice
'Cause a
work.
lot of this
And
stuff takes a
Gabriel
lot of
explained that
fucking
basically
time
they've
and
got contractual
right,
agreements not to clone
storyboarding
actors'
and
voices. That means that even if an actor was
right
fine with
design,
technology
right, a
or
lot
the
of
compensation
right, a
level,
lot of
Larian,
the
quote, don't
implementation is
comfortable
trying to
and they're,
design
quote,
and
aware of
right,
how
trying to
sensitive it
make
can
sure
be
is
to
this
artificially
really
generate
the
an actor's
way
voice.
it's supposed to
Larian
go?
kind of weighs everything here in the machine learning and maybe AI category on a case-by-case basis. And overall, I
I
think
haven't
we seem to
tried
do a great
vibe
job with this
coding, but it
AMA,
sounds fun.
but
Well, I
there is
mean,
still
video
a bit of
games is
potential left for
different
some.
because
And it's
right,
something that
especially if
Sven
you're
Vincke
trying
expressed
to
in
do
his
it
first
within a
post,
certain
and that is that
genre.
Larian is not
Each
writing
genre
off
has
the
their own
technology
right
completely.
specific
So they are going to keep experimenting.
pros and
Presumably more
cons,
tests, like, say,
right,
ones that
different
the writers ran.
implementations
And his
on how to
argument is
do
basically
things.
a, quote, more
So
focused development cycle,
you
less
kind of have
noise,
to
and
scope
ultimately
yourself
a higher
into a
quality game.
project in a
Now,
sense.
he says he wants to leave the door open in cases where the technology actually is helpful to the process, but he also gave a guarantee for anything that is player facing. Here's the guarantee. If there's any generated, quote, creative assets that end up in a Larian game, Larian will be 100%
right, especially
sure they
like
know the origins of the
right,
training
classic
data and
RPGs,
have
right,
consent
playing
from
off
those who
the
created it.
Dungeons and
Specifically what he said is
Dragons
this:
rule
if we use a
sets.
Gen AI model to create in-game
Right, you have a
assets, then it'll be
you have a
trained on
bunch of
data
different
that we own. Now,
mechanics
what he describes
and
there is
rule
functionally
sets
kinda like the
and
mocap tool
right,
that we've already
RNG
talked
in
about
a
that they've
sense,
already built.
right?
But I think also
You got a
there's
bunch
some
of
hedging
different
for the future.
spells
And here's the thing, right?
items
Every example in
and
this
yeah,
AMA
right, a
is
lot
of
of stuff like
generated
that.
assets that weren't good enough to ship.
And you
Right?
kind of
The
have to
writing,
make
the
it
concept
right
art elements, none of
homogeneous
those
or
things
make
could
them
go
work
in
together.
game in a sort of click the
Because if
button and
nothing
now the
works
thing is
together,
done.
it's gonna be
Even the more successful
gonna be
thing,
all over
mocap
the
data
place.
is basically just a tool to help their animators. And problems like that with mocap data are the sort of thing that a machine learning approach can
Or it wouldn't make
inherently
sense
do
to put it
quite
in the
well
game
at.
because
As
of
with those other things, say the writing or
game
image generation.
breaking
Well,
shit
the
like that.
theoretical models that Sven Vincke is talking about don't really seem to exist yet. So what I basically mean there is that while you could get an open source image model and then do a bunch of fine tuning specifically on stuff that Larian fully owns, well, the thing is, what was that open source model trained off? Was it just trained off data, images, artwork that's just been scraped from the whole internet. That's essentially the trouble here. What you need is a
you don't know what
foundational
kind of
image
data
model
set they're
that
using.
is designed for, say, whatever type of game art that you're doing, that has been fundamentally trained using stuff that you have got copyright for. And then
Correct.
that is something that you could fine-tune.
Right, because
for a
at the end of
specific
the
element
day,
to use
right,
case.
everything is,
As
but
far as I'm aware,
right, you still have to be right above board, right? You can't take stuff that's not credible, right? If it's not copyright protected, you can't really use it, right?
where that's not really something that exists
Right.
currently. I mean, you'll see
Basically,
loads of
if
people
it's
say,
not
wow, look at all of these bits of
based in
8-bit art
reality,
that
you
I've
can't really
generated
use
with
it.
ChatGPT or Gemini. Well, yeah, of course, those models have slurped up all of the pixel art that they can find in the internet, which of course is stuff that they probably did not have commercial rights to. Hence the problem. But here's the thing, I'm only talking about right now, because building something like that, the model that
Yeah, I
would hit
mean,
all of their
correct.
bars
I
for,
mean,
say,
look, if you're first starting off like programming and video game design, yeah, you could probably get away with some stuff. But then if you want to actually be within standards and make sure you're within the law, then you actually need to be careful. It's one thing to have like a passion project or to have some fun, but it's another thing to like actually put it out on the right market.
Images that, if your standard is 100% ethical sourcing of all of your training data, is extremely hard. Probably not really in the cards right now. So why bring it up? I think it's quite obvious. It's because in the future, it almost certainly will exist. And then we're really going to have a serious talk. You see, one of the things Larian pushed back on the hardest through the AMA was the claim that they are pushing hard on generative AI. Pushing hard is a quote from Jason Schreier's characterization of what Vance said to him in the interview. Now, in this case, the main people involved both stated in the AMA that every team member has full autonomy on the tools that they use, that there is no mandate. As an example, a mandate to use AI. Indeed, their art director Jarl maintained that Vinke had been misquoted on that point, but Vinke himself especially seems to want to leave the door open for ethical, productive uses of the technology in some undefined future. That's a future that may not exist yet, but he wants the company to be ready should that future exist. For many people, that may still feel like pushing hard, but I'd argue it is extremely different from the idea that they are searching for ways to throw Midjourney and ChatGPT dialogue into their game to save time and money. I don't think the evidence backs up that.
Oh no, you can tell those dialogues.
What does this actually mean for players? Number one, Larian are obviously aware of how the
because
perception of the
a lot of the AI right now, when they make dialogue for certain things, it kind of sounds right. It kind of sounds AI-ish, or it doesn't sound
Even
believable.
if they themselves aren't worried about that, they know that other people are. And that's what this is all optimized.
I guess it doesn't have that human quirkiness,
just
right?
Obfuscate how much they're using and press on and not properly engage with it. The contrast, and I think the main takeaway, is that here they've chosen to engage. They've done that even under a lot of pressure and a fairly hot media situation. And I think that is a sign that they're willing to act in good faith. And of course, more importantly, they have set a standard out in public. Whenever you do that, it's basically saying, these are our words, you need to hold us to those words. If we go against those words, we will have broken your trust. It's a good way to establish trust. And it means that if generative AI shows up in Divinity, in the art or the writing, people will remember this AMA. When Larian said they would not do that. When they said it would only be ethically sourced, internally trained models. Because that now is the benchmark. That is the bar that any of this tech would have to hit. Whether or not Larian are able to hit their own benchmark, well, that remains to be seen. We can't look into the future. But they have given people something concrete to point towards. Do you know what? That is a hell of a lot more than most studios have offered thus far. So, for that, absolutely credit to them. And you know what? Credit to many of you for the existence of this next story. Turns out console sales have absolutely cratered, and ultimately it's because people looked at the offerings and have clearly said no. And that is having large corporations across the industry with
especially when they made
publisher
the
describing the PS5 barrier. You can learn all about
Yeah,
that.
the new release of the Nintendo Switch, right? There was barely any games that came out with it. Fucking piss poor, man. Honestly, it just seems like a lot of the consoles just seem piss poor now with releases not having any games with it, literally. Yeah, right. They make you play old game, literally make you play old games. Mario Kart is carrying the console. Yeah. Alright, well, I don't got much news anymore. Kinda have to go pretty soon because I got stuff to do in the morning. Gotta help out my aunt with something tomorrow morning. Let's see, what's on ground news? Federal officer shoots a person in the leg after being attacked during Minneapolis arrest. Oh, another instance. As agent who shot Renee Good suffered internal bleeding. Officials say, well, I mean, he got hit by a vehicle in a sense. So apparently him getting hit by the vehicle caused internal bleeding, apparently. Trump backs Venezuela staying in OPEC. Two Republicans flip, defeating war powers resolution after intense Trump pressure. Basically, they were trying to stop Trump from doing what he did in Venezuela. Maryland Democrat Westmore pushes the case for redrawing the state's congressional map. Oh, gross. I mean, look, they're already trying to do that in California. And all it's trying to do is make everything more blue, right? So fuck you people. You guys are fucking annoying. Anchorage mayor proposes $12 million education levy on April. School funding gap. Danish officials say fundamental disagreement over Greenland remains after U.S. talks. Yeah. Trump wants that, I don't even know what he wants to do completely with Greenland. I mean, he says he wants it for the Golden Dome. I mean, given what you want to do, I guess that would call for wanting more control over Greenland, I guess. But man, I don't know. A 51st state. Yeah, in a sense. I don't know if I don't know if Denmark wants to fucking give that up though. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it'd be you're right. It'd be the same way that treaty system, yeah. Puerto Rico, like the other Caribbean or other South American countries. That would give them well, in a sense, it would give them their own autonomy. But, I mean, hard to say what the U.S. does sometimes, yeah. Don't know what some of these politicians are thinking sometimes. Man shot by Border Patrol during an Oregon immigration stop pleads not guilty to assault on agent. I mean, you had... Man, it's like that Trende Aragua instance. You had the two Trende Aragua people in their car trying to run down fucking... Or trying to get away from ICE agents. Deceased donor organ donations and kidney transplant. Uh-oh. We're called Super Greens diet supplement powder sickens 45 with salmonella. Oh shit. Fuck. I guess you don't want that one. He says. Newsom says he is blocking Louisiana's push to extradite doctor accused of mailing abortion pills. Why? If he was selling into Louisiana like he shouldn't be, why are you trying to stop him? Why are you trying to block him? At this point, this could be federal. Newscom, what are you doing? Musk's XAI limits Grok's ability to create sexualized image of real people on X after backlash. Yeah, I don't even know how much this is true. Is there a photo of this actually happening? Like, is there a photo of this actually happening? It's probably a photo of Elon. And drawn like one of those French girls, yeah. Drawn like one of those naked French girls, huh? Oh no, this is just safety image. Okay, safety. What did I do? Yeah, I don't. I don't know what the photoing. I don't see. This is the issue. Don't they say these headline or they write these news articles, but we don't have any actual evidence as to what they're talking about. They just say, "Hey, this thing happened," but we're not gonna show you the thing. It's like, what the fuck? Are you sure? Are you sure it was someone? Is someone naked? Right? I don't know. Actually, what was the sexual? Okay, when you say sexualized, what do you mean by sexualized? Right? That's the other thing too. Because sexualized, would it be someone in their nightgown and just looking? I don't know. Just walking around, right? Now, what do you mean by sexualized? You gotta kind of have to be more specific there. But yeah, there's no. This was what? This was yesterday or 2 days ago, something like. I don't know. People just getting mad at Elon Musk as usual. Second phase of Gaza plan advances. Hamas must leave. Power of disarm. Netanyahu says Hamas disarmament is key condition for next phase. Yeah. Lebanon arrests Syrian citizens suspected of funding pro-Assad fighters. Whoa. Trump questioned Reza Pahlavi ability to garner support in Iran. Well, I mean, Reza Pahlavi is the most recent guy who's been talking about it and who's been following. Yeah, who's been following Iran closely. But they're not living in Iran right now, right? So they're only getting information out from Iran. Oh yeah, I mean, look, anything's better than fucking Kamani, right? Fucking you don't need some fucking extremist, right? Or fucking terrorist fucking running the goddamn government, right? This is not good. Because it just makes you guys look hostile every fucking time. Department of War name change could cost as much as 125 CBO. Oh, because they have to change all the name plaques and stuff. I mean, yeah. You change your name and then you start changing all the plaques and stuff that you made. That's a lot of work, yes. A lot of money and work. A lot of resources to be used up for absolutely no reason. Musk says he's not aware of any Grok-generated naked underage images. So apparently he's not... I would assume he has some kind of automated system to flag. Or, I mean... Honestly, I would assume that there's still some restrictions in place, right? There's still limitations in place on what you can create, right? Because they wouldn't want you to create illegal images or stuff like that, right? I would assume that there's still some restrictions. I mean, you could probably ask Grok on how to make crack, right? Actually... How to make right? Let's see if the robot. Oh, see. Yeah. Oh, okay. Water here and then mixture. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it still tells you how to make crack. So. Yeah. Nice. I mean, yeah. So yeah, that happens. I mean, look, if you ask to use a sidekick, I mean, if you ask it, hey, how do I get rid of a body? I mean, it might start giving you some answers. Just saying. Protester blinded by federal agents in Santa Ana. Oh, are they doing a protest in Santa Ana? Action amid deadly anti-government protest. Iran. Arrest after federal agent shoots man. DHS says assaulted its officers. Yeah, ever since the Renee Good incident, yeah, there's just been an uptick in trying to cause shit. Honestly, like that lady shouldn't have fucking did what she did. I don't know why she fucking did that. That was so fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. Shouldn't have done it. They told you to get out the fucking car, and you just you didn't comply. Hey, you chose suicide by cop. Fortunate. That's what you chose. Fucking chose that decision. Our future defendants look for, to move trial. California's AG launches investigation to Grok AI. Protesters erupt in Iran capital. Iceberg details ammunition used during Greenville officer ambush. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, there's still ambushes happening on officers. Another person has been shot by federal agents. New congressional maps. $2 billion fraud cuts for substance abuse mental health services. Wow. Yeah, that's another unfortunate fraud instance, right? Substance abuse and mental health services. It's unfortunate, but yeah, that does happen. Just like the Leering Daycare Center. Just like how fraud is running. just how that is fraudulent, right? Oh, they're just here to teach you, okay? You're gonna leer today. They're gonna leer you today. Oh fuck. No way. Home Alone actor caught hiring lady of the
Home Alone
night.
icon Daniel Stern, 68, cited for
No.
allegedly soliciting a prostitute.
Lear? What? That's what it said.
Wet Bandit. But anyway, Home Alone icon Daniel Stern was
It was the
accused
Leering
of,
Daycare
was issued a
Center. They will
citation
teach you
for
all the
allegedly
leering
trying to hire an
techniques.
escort. The 68-year-old
They will
actor,
lure
known
you
for
here
starring in the
from
beloved
to
Christmas
Somalia.
franchise, was reportedly soliciting prostitution during the
Bro was
holiday
down
season
bad, super down bad.
on
Holy
December
fuck.
10th in Camarillo, California, according to TMZ. He was reportedly at a hotel in Camarillo when he was cited by the police. Did you just get a ticket for that shit? Gonna write you a ticket. To the prosy. You cheeky
Well,
boy.
I mean,
Like,
in
that's how it is,
California, right? In California,
Again,
there's
libertarian. If two adults want to engage in services
right,
with
I
each
mean,
other
there's
in
not
exchange
really
for money, that is between
there's no
them.
really
That's
laws
between them.
against it in a sense.
Right? At least they were nice enough to keep it private and silent.
I mean, yeah, they say prostitution's bad, but I mean, like, it's the
You were gonna fuck
right.
this
It's one of
woman in
it's
this
the
hotel
lowest of
room.
low
Here's a
crimes,
ticket.
right?
Leave the guy alone.
So
Plus
it's like,
he's
yeah, they're
68.
just gonna write you a fucking ticket.
At that age, that's the only way that you can get your fucking home, right? You have to fucking pay for it.
Bro, should have just gone to Vegas like all the degenerates. Yeah, at least over there it's like actually legal, right? Versus in California, not so much. Right? Don't. Yeah, you don't want to pick up ladies on the side of the street sometimes. It's not a good decision.
You and the girl get arrested. Also, how did they know? How do they not know that you're just like pumping a girl in a hotel room? Because I've done that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if the police came at the door, like, would I get
whole body massages?
Like
yeah,
it's
just
drinks all night, and that was
the happy ending massages.
Which is technically how it works these days. Therefore, making a lot of women technically whores.
Just some happy ending massages.
Nothing
to scoff at.
But I don't know. I don't know how it fucking works.
Nothing to talk about too much.
Famously played Marv Murchins, one of the bumbling burglars.
Just a massage.
One of the bumbling burglars in the hit holiday films Home Alone and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, alongside a young Macaulay Culkin. Looks like fucking Trotsky. It comes after Stern's hospitalization last October. He was hospitalized after suffering a medical emergency. Stern was rushed to the emergency room on October 7th, per TMZ. The Ventura County Fire Department confirmed they responded to a residence in Somali, California for a medical emergency. It is unclear what the medical issue was. I mean, he's 68, it could have been a fucking heart attack or anything. Stern was assessed by firefighters and taken to hospital. He was then released with his representative confirming he is in good health. In December, Stern revealed he has left Hollywood behind and now lives on a farm and grows tangerines.
Huh?
Best, actually, yeah. Fucking that's a good retirement plan. That's the way to do it. Despite being a main face of the beloved flick, he now works as a cattle rancher, grows tangerines, and works as a sculptor. Man's winning. That's an excellent way to fucking put the full stop on the end of your life. That's great. I see nothing wrong with that at all. Stern previously revealed he had to fight to get a raise for the Home Alone sequel. There's just hundreds of pictures of him. I don't know if they're trying to make him look haggard. I mean, he's fucking 68. Like, you're going to look like shit at 68. When the original 1990
And a girl had to drive him. I don't know.
And a sequel was immediately greenlit.
Man, that'd be a fucking rough time.
With an
Holy
offer of
shit.
$600,000.
Get your
In his
fucking dick
memoir,
snapped in
Home
half
Alone,
while
the
fucking
actor
chick.
revealed the
Oh
offer
man,
was double
that's
his
rough.
salary for the first movie, but his
I mean,
co-stars had
look,
received
it's not like it
multi-million
doesn't
starring
happen.
offers. He said he asked 20th Century Fox
It's very
for more
rare,
money
but it
because
does
Joe
happen.
Pesci, who played his wet bandit sidekick Harry, was making around $2 to $3 million. To be completely fair, it was Joe Pesci, man. I mean, it's Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci in the 90s.
It's inevitable.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I guess if it.
Of course, he was getting
Hey,
paid
if
that
it
amount of
feels
money.
that good, and
He
then
also
you
wrote in his
just
book
don't
that
realize
leading
it
star
until
Macaulay
it
Culkin, now
happens.
43,
It's like,
got
oh
a
well.
sequel deal for $5 million.
It
plus
happens, right?
5% of the gross box office earnings. That's good. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, premiered in November 1992, 2 years after the first movie, which was almost canned before production even began, was released. Initially, Stern recalled producers taking 6 months just to make him the offer of $600,000, which he added was double my original salary, but not quite the pot of gold I was hoping for. He said he asked for more, but decided to continue negotiating with the studios when he learned his co-star would be making more than quadruple his salary. I asked if that was the same as Joe Pesci was getting, and they said no, it was not. Stern explained the studio eventually came back to him with an offer of $800,000, but by that point he had learned that Pesci was getting somewhere between $2 million and $3 million plus gross percentage of the profits. Wanting to get paid at least half of what his co-star
as you
was
can see, the
making,
movie
he did not
industry,
accept the
yeah, you
six-digit
kind of have
number.
to.
When his agent advised him against it and just take the offer, Stern said he fired him. Looking back, Stern said it was a prideful thing to do, but said that if it was the best his agent could do for him, then he wasn't very good at his job. He told the Los Angeles LA Times that he agreed in the end because there's lots of things I get out of the movies besides money. But still,
Yeah, kind
okay, a
of
man and a woman went into a
yeah.
hotel room privately away
A
from everyone
gangster,
to have
some would
sex in
say.
exchange for money. I kind of don't really fucking care.
I mean, yeah, that's the movie industry, right? It's cutthroat. I mean, you do what you got to do. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate you got caught up, but life sucks sometimes, yeah. Got caught. $100 billion in Venezuela? What?
The plan is for them to spend, meaning our giant oil companies will be
I
spending
bet he used
at least $100
Craigslist.
billion of their money, not the government's money. They don't
Well,
need
yeah.
government
I mean, you could use Facebook Market,
But they need
right?
government protection
Facebook,
and they need government security
Instagram,
that when they spend all
Twitter.
this money, it's going to be there so they get their money back.
Yeah, well, you
and
could probably
make a
use
very
Blue
nice
Sky
return.
too.
The plan is for them to spend at least $100 billion to
So-
rebuild the capacity and the infrastructure necessary. Venezuela has also agreed that the United States will immediately begin refining and selling up to 50 million barrels of Venezuelan crude oil, which will continue indefinitely. We're all set to do it.
Well, he wants to spend. President says U.S. oil will spend. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess to process and get that oil or store it for us. Yeah. Yeah, we commandeered that oil from Venezuela. We are the captain. Free oil, yeah. That liquid gold, baby. Bill and Hillary Clinton, former AGs and FBI director, subpoenaed for Jeffrey Epstein testimony. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they didn't want to testify. Will the Clintons testify Epstein relationship this week? No. Bill Clinton defies congressional subpoena. Yeah. They fucking was like, nope. I can't wait for his mugshot. Yeah, I want this to happen so bad. This is gonna be good. They have to do this. Come on. They're asking for it at this point. I just want to see Hillary with the fucking mugshot, to be fucking Hillary Clinton with the mugshot. Oh, that's gonna be golden.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Meanwhile,
I mean, look, we've already got Bill Clinton, right? We don't care about Bill Clinton. All we care about is Hillary, okay? Hillary, Bill Clinton's already been caught, okay? Bill Clinton's already gotten his mugshot. We don't care about that. We want Hillary. We want Hillary. We need her mugshot. That's gonna be thousands and thousands of dollars worth. That shit's gonna be priceless to have Hillary Clinton's mugshot. There's no business could shoulder 20 bill debt. Blah blah blah. Alright. Honestly, I think I should call it now. Because I gotta wake up early. Yeah. The woke white woman mind virus. That sounds like an interesting one to listen to. Dem senators react after GOP defeats war powers resolution. Oh, they got an interview with Greg Gutfield? Oh shit, I didn't even know that. Oh, I didn't know the trigonometry people. Oh. Oh, I didn't. Wait, what? They did an interview with Hassan Piker? Wow. I didn't even know about that one. Holy shit. That was a month ago. That's funny. Let me guess. Hassan Piker was very annoying to talk to, and just Diddy Piker, as you know. He was probably just running defense for terrorist organizations, to be honest, probably. Okay. Well, anyways. I should probably call it here. I gotta go do stuff in the morning. I gotta get some sleep. Because I gotta drive. I will be back. What time is it? Okay. What's tomorrow? Thursday? Friday? I'll be back tomorrow. I will stream, yeah, I don't know. Regular time, night, 9 p.m., early? I don't know. I don't know yet. It'll depend on how long I'm dealing with helping my aunt. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. Much appreciated. Have a wonderful evening, day, night, whichever it may be, and we'll see you again next time. Peace out. Have a good one. Yeah, glad to see you again, Hash. Nice seeing you again.